unmute myself. Welcome everybody. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Our sessions is always what I find and what I say is educational. So please have your pens, your notebooks, your notepads, paper ready to take notes, because you are going to be blown away by the wealth of information, knowledge that's going to be shared by our fantastic presenters. So good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. We made it to 2021. Give thanks. Yeah. See, this year is going to be our year. It's going to be a good year. Yeah. Talk positivity into your lives. Yeah. I know we're in a pandemic, but put that to the side slightly. Put yourselves first, and it's all about health and well-being. That's where we're coming from. So I'll tell you a little bit about the Queen's Walking Group. So we're a walking group, mainly ladies, based in Southeast London. We've been walking together since around June time. And when our government in the UK said that we could only have one person walking with another person to do exercise, we had to move to Zoom. So we've been Zooming for the last 6-7 weeks. I've had a break because I got a bit tired, and today we're kicking off the second series in our Zooms. So as I said before, welcome everybody. Have your pens and papers ready. I ask if you've got questions, if you could please post them into the chat, and our presenters will be keeping an eye on the chat to try and answer any specific questions. I have two fantastic co-hosts. I've got Nadia from the Black Help Group, who will keep an eye on the chat. So when I get to the end of the presentations, we'll be able to tap in if there's any particular key salient themes that are coming through. We'll pick it up then, and then right at the end, we will have an opportunity for all of you on the platform to ask questions. So you just put your hand up in the chat, and then I'll come to you. Just say who you are, where you're based. I don't need your address, just need your area or country, and then you can ask your question to any of the presenters. So that's some of the sort of like ground rules that we have. So wherever you're in the world, thank you very much for joining us on this platform. And let me tell you a little bit about what has happened previously. So it's the Queen series. We've done Queen's Black Hair Rocks, and that was the kind of like the catalyst for launching the whole kind of like Queen series. Absolutely fantastic. Again, every week we have a rich crop of presenters that come on the platform and share their knowledge and expertise. So we had, yes, Queen's Black Hair Rocks. We've had Queens We Ain't Crazy, it's done in the menopause. We've got part 2 coming up soon, so please look out for that. So I would advise all of you who are new to the platform, please follow us on Eventbrite, and then you'll get the early notifications as to when, forthcoming events are going to be happening. We've done Queen's Breaking the Silence, let's talk about mental health. We've done Queen's Stop Eating the Fridge. Let's talk about diet, health and nutrition. Today is part 2. And that's because we had such an overwhelming response to that again. It just felt appropriate at this point in time to, we're in 2021, thank God, we've all tipped over into 2021, and it's that time to reset our thinking, our habits, let's really focus in on our diet, health, lifestyle, because of course we're in a pandemic, and right now it's really about building that resilience against trying to, keep yourself strong, healthy, fit, to some degree fight this disease that's out there. Yeah, because my mother always said prevention is better than cure. So let's get into that preventative mode. Yeah. So after well-earned break, yes, we're back, and today's third Zoom, Queens, stop eating the fridge. Let's talk about, let's kick it. Let's kick it in 2021. So we've got some phenomenal Queens Zooms coming up. So as I said before, we've got Queens, We Ain't Crazy. It's only the menopause part 2. We've got a session coming up for you Queens, because I've had a lot of people contact me to do a Zoom on fibroids, polycystic ovaries and endometriosis. So if you've got any sisters who are suffering with these particular complaints, you know, please look out for the notification and tap in. We've got some fantastic presenters. You know, I've got a Harley Street doctor who's going to be on the platform, Abby, who's also here on the platform, who'll be talking about from an essential oils perspective. I've got women coming on who are going to talk about their journey and what the different kind of like, you know, strategies they've used to deal with having fibroids and how they've had to cope on the journey. Some have had to have surgery, some have had to use particular products to try and cope with daily living, you know, when it comes to fibroids, endometriosis, etc. We're going to be doing a session on relationships, love, sex, and all the rest of it. We did a session called Young, Gifted and Black. We're going to do part 2, where we're going to have, you know, the young people come on the platform and talk about, you know, their experiences and the different services that they've tapped into. We're going to also do a Black Pound Day supporting Black business. So we have got a wealth of Zooms planned for all of you. So I hope you'll be able to join us. So Queens, stop eating the fridge. Let's kick it. We have another phenomenal, fantastic panel of speakers on the platform from the community. And this is an opportunity to draw breaks. Say to yourself, it is now time for a fresh start where your diet, health, and nutrition is concerned. Smile. It's a new year, and back in the good old days, some of us would be trotting off to the gym. Yes, I'm going to join the gym. I'm going to get fit. I'm on this new diet. You know, what is it, 5-2 or 16-8, whatever it is, all these new faddy diets, and enough of them don't work. Yes. So it's really about, let's reset our thinking. Let's get some good quality guidance, advice from our experts in the field, just to kind of turn this thing around. Yeah. You're not on your own, you know, collective, together we are stronger. And you as individuals seeking advice around your diet, health style, etc., you can do it. You can do it. So I'm going to call out all my presenters on the platform. Lyndon, I know you had a bit of difficulties, but I can see you. You're back?
Yeah.
Clear?
Yeah. I sorted it. It sounds a bit better now, definitely.
Yes. Yeah, wonderful. Naomi, beautiful Naomi.
Hi, morning. Happy New Year, everyone.
Welcome. Is Mr. Joe here? Are you here, Joe? Mr. Dash? You'll be here, don't worry. Gillian, beautiful Gillian, are you here on the platform, my darling?
Hi. Yes, I'm here.
You're here.
Morning.
Mr. Silburn. Mr. Silburn, I know you're here because I've spoken to you. And wonderful Kay, early morning. Raw Kay, you here?
Good morning. Yes, I'm here. Happy New Year, everyone.
Fantastic. So as we scream or roar into 2021, fresh starts, new beginnings await. So let's strive to improve our health, our diet, our nutrition. It's not an easy journey, but you know, you can get there. You can get there. So what I will quickly say, to hear about future Queens Walking Group events, please follow us on Eventbrite. This Zoom is being recorded and the recording will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel. So when it's launched, please get ready to like, subscribe and share. So please have your pens and paper ready, your notebooks, ready to, you know, you're gonna get some life-changing information. So let's kick off. Lyndon, you ready to begin for me, my darling?
Yeah, I'm ready. Whenever you're ready, yeah.
Over to you.
Well, good morning, everybody. And John, thank you very much for having me on your platform again. It's a wonderful place to be, especially on a Saturday morning. I've got to set my alarm with you, you know that, so yeah. But thank you very much anyway. I haven't got much time, so I'm not going to give you a big overview of who I am or what I am. But for all the
Lyndon, I've just got a quick question to ask you, because I know you're ready to roll. But
no
one
worries.
of the things that came into my mind, what motivates you to really, what matters to you in regards to your health and your work, but what motivates you to kind of like be on this journey?
To be honest with you, the number one thing to motivate me to be on this journey is because I didn't understand what diabetes was when I was diagnosed.
Mm.
Yeah, that's number one. And number two, when I started to do events, I couldn't believe the amount of people that came up to me and said they really respect what I've done. Yeah. And even some men, they'll come up to me and say, Lyndon, I got this thing going on. Can you talk to me about it? Or can you give me some advice? And I think I didn't know how serious diabetes was until I was diagnosed. So because that's the way I was. So what motivates me now is to help other people, to share my journey, my story. Do you know what I'm saying? In the beginning, this is why even my story, I written my book by default. I didn't design to write it. I didn't mean to write the book. I just wanted to share my journey of what I done, how I done it. So I think most of my desires, because the feedback that you get, if you get a lot of positive feedback, it gives you that energy. It fuels you to give out more, And the progression started when I was invited to go onto radio stations. The people in magazines, they want to know my story, invited to do all these events, which I never ever thought of before. I didn't know it would go this far. So the motivation, even now, that's why now I'm doing other things like the cups, t-shirts, caps, and stuff like that to create more awareness about diabetes. So it's not really about the money thing. It's about if you've got something in your house that can motivate you, like a cup, a t-shirt, a mug, a hoodie, whatever you want, and you say, look at that, the inspired diabetic. Yeah, that means mindset, diet, physical activity, and intermittently fasting. That's the four basic things that the inspired diabetic is focused on, and helping other people. That's the motivation. That's why I'm up this morning. You know what I'm saying?
You're doing it. I mean, I think I met you at an event, and your passion just to spread the message. And I mean, diabetes, predominantly affects our community, and it's all about diet and lifestyle. So we really need to get those key messages out there about, keep off, stay away from the condensed milk. I remember back in the day, my brothers and condensed milk sandwiches. I never understood it.
Yeah, me neither. I used to love it.
There's there's all these, foods that we should not, no way should we be consuming.
Yeah, I mean, even now, if I had a condensed milk sandwich, you'd probably take me back to my childhood. But you know the thing about it, let's not get it muddled up, because don't forget, some of us have this weakness of going back to certain foods and stuff like that. But the thing about it is, how do you reverse it quickly? How do you suppress it? That's one of the most important things. So if you're taking something that you're not supposed to eat, what are you doing to suppress that glucose? And what have you been doing before that? So to be honest with you, the question that you just asked me, Joan, I might just go straight into my talk, because
please, yes.
Because my talk in my book, I talk about this exactly just after Christmas. On chapter 8, page 115, if anyone's got a book out there, look at this. Look at this chapter. This chapter is so prominent for right now. The chapter is called "Suffering at Christmas Setback: My Low Point," and "Excusitis." And this is the time when I was diagnosed diabetes in October 2015. October 2015. And I reversed it in 105 days naturally without any prescribed medication. So October 15, when I was diagnosed, October 2016, which is 25 days later, well, just over 25 days later, about 30 days, I think it was, yeah. What happened to me, yeah, is that I was doing so much work from October 15 to December, yeah, that I was consumed with my family around me, but my mindset, yeah, was thinking about I can't eat the cakes, I can't eat the custard, the biscuits, and have more my fizzy drinks like I normally do at Christmas time. The Christmas time we just go for it. It's like family's there and you don't think about it. But I was in a different zone because I was reversing my diabetes and I was on this program for myself. I didn't want to eat nothing on that table. So I remember I'm standing at the table, the food table. I'm looking at all this food, and I'm thinking to myself, boy, I could do some of that banana cake, you know. I could do some carrot cake, you know, for Christmas pie and some custard and things. These are all the things that I put on the table. And I specifically made a banana cake and a carrot cake, yeah, for Christmas, you know. And I thought to myself, I can't even eat it. So what I done, I got my phone and I took a selfie, yeah, of the table. And I'm looking at the phone and the selfie, and I thought to myself, boy, look at all that food. And you know something? I said to myself, let me just try a bit of this cake. Let me just try a bit of this cake. So I took the piece of the banana cake which I made, and I thought to myself, I tried a bit. Boy, that was nice. And then I got some custard. I thought, put some custard on it. And when I took that custard, it's like, sure, I'll have a mince pie, carrot cake, and I just went for the drinks. I just said to myself, Lyndon, just enjoy yourself, because my mind was totally focused on reversing my diabetes. So in the back of my mind, I can hear my family having a good time, laughing, the kids laughing, everybody's enjoying themselves. But I was there, but I wasn't there. You know, I wasn't there with them. But after I started to eat my desserts and everything like that, I just went, boy, yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy myself now. And from that moment,
not to interrupt you, I'll tell you, carrot cake is one of my weaknesses. So
mine's too. Carrot cake, banana cake, brownie. But I just, yeah, I'm telling you. So the ironic thing about that, this is just one month into me reversing my diabetes when I had the relapse, the first Christmas, yeah, 2015, yeah. I had another blood test coming up after that, yeah. So my next blood test will be coming up in about January. And when I got the results in January, my HbA1c, my blood sugar levels, was still low.
Wow.
It was still low. It never gone up. It did not go up. It was still going down, because all the work that I done before December, from October to December, by cutting out all of the carbohydrates, yeah, I cut out pasta, potato, rice, fizzy drinks, all for 1 month, yeah. But when I had my next blood test, 28 days, no, that's 2 months later, so that would have been January, February, yeah, my blood sugars was low. So it was down to 77. It was down to 60. It went to, yeah, and then 105 days went down to normal at 41. So what I'm saying, if anybody's gone through Christmas now with they didn't think about what they're eating, they went over the top, yeah. What you can do now is reset your mind and get back on that program, yeah. But like this Christmas now that I've had, I didn't have to pig out like I used to, because all my palate has changed now, all my habits have changed now. But I still had a good time with the family. You know, still had a good time with the family. But there's things that we can do on a day-to-day basis, like drinking okra water, bitter gourd water, taking the moringa, apple cider vinegar, turmeric, all these kind of things that's going to help suppress your blood sugar levels. Yeah, okay. You need to do these on a day-to-day basis. So when you do have a cake, your banana cake, because you can't resist it and you want to go back to that memory of what it tasted like, you know how, yeah, to reduce your blood sugar after that naturally. Yeah. So this is what it's all about, finding yourself. And the 4 principles that I said to you before, okay. So if we just come out of Christmas, we're New Year now, January now, what am I going to do to bring my sugar levels down. Where am I? Okay, the starting point, yeah, okay, is number one, your mindset. Yeah, mindset. Can I do it? What do I need to do? Yeah. What's the foundation? Yeah, this is where the foundation is. Yeah. Where do I get started? What foods do I need to start off with? What do I need to cut out now? You know, carbohydrates. Cut down your carbohydrates, your pasta, your rice, your potatoes, your fizzy drinks, your biscuits. All these things, you need to suppress them. Like not tomorrow, today, today. Because if you say, "Oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow," what happens tomorrow? Or what happens tonight? You have something. Oh, I'll do it the following day. After the day, you have to get your mindset right that I can do it, and nothing's going to disarm you if you don't have potatoes today, if you don't have rice today, yeah, if you don't have your fizzy drink today, because you've been having it all year anyway. You know. So what you're going to do is cut down on those things, those basic things. The second thing, yeah, what you're going to introduce into your body now, yeah. And one of the things that I talk about, I show you, is flavonoid foods. Yeah, flavonoid foods. These are foods that heals and nourishes the pancreas. Yeah, type 1 diabetes is when the pancreas is not working, it's not producing any insulin. Yeah, so if your part of your body is not working, give it some nourishment, give it some food ingredients that's going to help it to work. Yeah, and type 2 diabetes is like me. When the pancreas is not producing enough insulin, it's not working functionally enough, or it's too much blood sugar. Your sugar level
Lyndon,
too high. That's mine. Yeah.
Lyndon, can you name a couple of the flavonoid foods for me? Just a few.
Yeah, like berries. Yeah, strawberries, blueberries, banana, dark chocolate, thyme, parsley, watermelon, peppers. Is a vast range of things. Vast range of things. There's a vast range of things on there. Okay, so if you go to my website, the Inspired Diabetic, I have a list of flavonoid foods or linked to flavonoid foods on there anyway. I do, yeah. So those are the foods you need to focus on, and that's what I did. The third thing is physical activity. Physical activity, like you're doing your walking sessions. Don't everybody just do something? Just do something. You know, I got myself, or somebody got me a trampoline over Christmas. Yeah, a mini trampoline, because I used to have one all the time, and then somebody decided to get rid of it because they thought I didn't use it, but I didn't know when I was using it. I was using it in my own time, but then when they see something and they think, "Oh, he's not using it anymore," so they get rid of it. So they have to recompensate me with a new one. Yeah, so do anything that works for you. Physical activity. You don't have to go to the gym. When you can't go gym now anyway, do something at home. You know, just go for a walk. Do something. You can do something in your bed. Look at what you can do in your bed. Look at what you can do in a chair. You know, any form of exercise. Just get the heart going.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
And we've got. I forgot to mention, we've got Mary Cox, our queen of exercises, coming up later. So
brilliant.
It's just like what you said. This is all part of the, health and well-being and getting, fit. And it's a holistic approach, isn't it?
Definitely. And the fourth thing, is intermittently fasting. Yeah, intermittently fasting. This is very, very crucial to what you want to do to cleanse the body now, to detox the body now, because the best person I've heard about intermittently fasting is Joe Dash. Yeah, the melanin effect man. Yeah, okay. So any of you guys want to know more about intermittent fasting, check out Joe Dash. He does a brilliant talk on it. Yeah, is awesome. So when I was reversing my diabetes, I was intermittently fasting 3 or 4 times a day. So basically what that means, you're not eating any food, for 4 or 5 hours for a day. Yeah. And I was doing that, but I didn't know I was doing it. Because what I would do in the mornings, I'd take my daughter to school for 8:30, I'd drop her off, and then I'd go straight to the gym, and I'd just be drinking water throughout the day. And then I'd come back to my car, I'd have a pint of blueberries and a banana. Yeah, but I was doing that. So, but when I started to meet medical people, they said, "Linda, you were intermittently fasting." I said, "What do you mean? You were intermittently fasting? You were not eating like 3, 4, 5 times a week for 5, 6 hours? Really?" But each month I was conscious of doing a 24-hour fast, water fast, just water drinking, for the simple reason that I knew I had a blood test coming. So when I knew I had a blood test coming, what I do, I just abstain from food. I just be drinking water for 24 hours. And one day I went up to 27 hours because I was testing my body, see how long my body can go without the food, you know?
I'm
And
going
this
to
is what
get you to finish because we're running
I'm
slightly
finished.
behind
That's
time.
it. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. That's my 4 things for my excusitis, and that's it. So my chapter 8 in the book, yeah, page 115, talks about the relapse and excusitis. So don't suffer from excusitis. Yeah, suffer from positive sitis where you can do it. Yeah. So just to finish off, Joan, the 4 basic things that the Inspired Diabetic talks about: mindset, diet, physical activity, and intermittently fasting. And that's that.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's basic. It's not rocket science, is it? It's as basic as that. You know, if we can
it's the basis of that.
4 basic things, 4 basic principles into, you know, your lifestyle, it will make a huge difference.
Huge difference. Yeah. And if you want to find out more about me, just go to the inspireddiabetic.com.
Well,
and the
please
Inspired Diabetic.
Post your details into the chat.
I will.
And you know what sort of like just inspired me? It would be really good if we could probably formulate some kind of support group.
Yes.
You know, because there's a lot of people who are on their own, you know, not sure. They just need that, you know, because I very much believe that, you know, together we are stronger. So
definitely.
Probably
yes, I've had a conversation with somebody, a professional counselor, coach, whatever they do with professional people. They charge people to do that. So for the last 3-4 years, I haven't been charging nobody nothing to talk to them, and I've helped loads of people. So my goal for this year is to talk with the community, engage with people more, and just give them the foundation to get started. Because you know something, being on this lockdown thing now, it's not easy for a lot of people. They don't know what to do. Exactly. They don't have to deal with. They think it's easier. You know.
Well, I know when we did the first kind of Zoom session, you know, and just going around in my own community, I can see where, especially loads of the guys, you know, my gym buddies, they had put on loads of weight, and they've been in that fridge and that biscuit cupboard. Honestly. So it's a creeper. You see, the more you're indoors, the more you think, oh, let me go and take one biscuit, let me go and do this, and it creeps, especially, and you're working from home, and you just picking. So, but I'm not going to kind of like, you know, we know the reality.
But what I'm saying to people, check out the okra water, your bitter gourd water, but just one day, do all your stuff. Put your ginger in there, your garlic.
Put some of this stuff into the chat for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll come back.
Yeah, because you guys got to do it. I'm telling you, it is so important. People just don't realize how simple and easy it can be to do. Just take 1 hour of your busy schedule and prepare your drink or your food. You know, something that's got everything in it, which is so important. So important. So blessings to each and every one of you. I wish you all the success for the new year. Think positive, be positive, and tell yourself what you want rather than what you don't want. And don't be frightened to write down what you want and visualize it.
Absolutely.
Write it down. And when you write it down and you look on it, it's like, wow, is this achievable? You don't know until you try. Yeah? It's better to try something and succeed than try nothing and fail.
Thank you, Lyndon. You are
my pleasure.
Star.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, my darling. I can see my beautiful Naomi sitting there waiting. You're not slapping, you're not patting. The fly is not eating you.
At least give them context. Don't let them think that I just got flies flying around here in my home.
You're looking radiant, looking beautiful. Thank you for coming onto the platform. Oh, welcome. So looking forward to your talk. I've got a quick question for you. How to make good nutrition work for anyone? We're in a pandemic. What should be in your fridge to get healthy? What sort of like key things should be in your fridge? And really,
so I think
building that strong immune system.
So I think the key, so thank you for that. So yeah, because it's a really important question, especially following on from Lyndon, where we are at home. So the fridge just keeps opening and opening. We're bored, so we just walk to the fridge. So the things that I would definitely staple things to have in your fridge are the fruit and vegetables, goes without saying, the water, apple cider vinegar, lemons, limes, ginger, turmeric. All of those things should be in there. So I will mention that again in my talk, yeah, because I'm really a strong advocate. But yes, thank you for having me, Joan. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Greetings, welcome. I'm in Tanzania, so that's why she's mentioning the flies. Yeah. So I was like, you know, like that. So if you see me dabbing myself,
you know, we're international.
So yeah, so if you see me flicking, it's not ticks or anything like that. It's just me flies and just sweating. So it's really hot. So hopefully I'm sending some sunshine your way. But yes, thank you, Joan, for having me. It's a really important topic, and it's a really nice way to set off on the 2nd of the year. So I know everybody makes their resolutions. So my talk's going to really cover, well, my message, my key message is about having a holistic approach. So that is a really strong kind of principle that I thank you. I install in myself and all the people I work with. I consider myself a holistic wellness coach and counsellor. So for me, why holistic is really important is that I find that we tend to, you know, being the people that we are, to either go on extremes. So we either focus on one area to the detriment of another, but all of the aspects are interdependent. So all the aspects of life are interdependent, and the holistic kind of well-being focuses on the whole person. And so what we really need to understand is that it isn't just looking at one single part, the physical, it isn't just looking at maybe the mental, it isn't just looking at the spiritual, it's all of them, they all interlink. So if you're maybe experiencing an imbalance in one area, it will impact the other areas eventually in your life. So a nice way to start your new year is to kind of maybe look at your key areas of your life, the key aspects. So just like looking at your health, your fitness, family, personal partners. So it's like, I don't know if everyone's heard of the wheel of life, but maybe just dotting that wheel of life, looking at the different areas, because what we're striving for me in my philosophy and what I teach is balance. So I believe balance in everything, balance mentally, spiritually, emotionally, socially, financially, in so many different ways. So just taking a number out of 10, looking at the different life areas, just putting them out of 10 where 1 is low, 10 is high, and just rating the different areas, the key aspects of your areas, and then looking at what you need to do, what are the steps in order to reach your kind of optimum level. But like I said, everything I will talk about will be holistic. So moving on to, so kind of thinking about the holistic approach, I'm going to split it into kind of looking at the physical, the mind, body and soul. So I'm going to talk about the physical. I'm going to spend a little time talking about nutrition, just because obviously the topic today is eating the fridge. I also talk really fast, so if I talk too fast, someone just put slow down and breathe, okay? So I get really infused and passionate. So the first area that I want to really look at is fitness. I'm not going to spend too much because I know we've got a fitness specialist, but I teach BoxFit and I teach yoga. And for me, the balance is the kind of yin and yang. So we're quite an active, masculine driven people at the moment, so we're really kind of aligned to our masculinity. So everything's usually cardio, fast paced, and which is good. We want to improve on our fitness, but also on the flip side, we also need to tap into the passive or more of relaxation methods. So that's whether that's yoga, Pilates, or just stretching. You don't need to put a name, but the fitness is really important in terms of a starting point, moving your body. Our body's not meant to just be sitting down on the chair. And I always cite a client who had weight issues and was saying, you know, they're not losing weight. And we went through her day, and basically she woke up, she had her breakfast, had her wash, whatever, got into the car, went to work. At work, she used to work through her lunchtime, then she would come back out, go into her car and come home. there it was right there. There was just no activity. So even if you're not a gym goer, I'm not a gym goer, I'm really not into the gym. You know, if it works for you, find, like Lyndon said, find your outlet. So it doesn't have to be going to the gym. It doesn't have to be hours. So I've got lots of 10 to 15 minute videos. So it could just be like a short burst HIIT session. There's lots of ones online. It's just about moving more. So even when you're on the phone, some people like take the phone and they sit down. Even when you're traveling on the commute, I notice some people are sitting at home and then go to sit down again on their commute. Stand up, walk a little bit, just move the body, exercise the body, move the muscles. So the cardio can form different things. It could be, my favorite one is skipping. So I'm here in Tanzania and believe I've got 2 skipping ropes with me. I've got a thin speed one and I've got a heavier one just to work my muscles a little bit more. 5 or 10 minutes skipping will be wonderful for you. So just improving your heart, your lungs. We all know the benefits of exercise. So whatever it is, use it. Stretching, the yoga, the Pilates. Again, it doesn't need to be a whole hour, 45 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, stretching, bringing it across, just taking that moment, that opportunity just to be in tune with your body, check out what bits are hurting. As we know, stress is carried in the body, is carried in our muscles. So a lot of people walk around with their shoulders up and don't even realize that their shoulders are tense from all the maybe bad posture, maybe just stress, the back of the neck, your head, the lower back, a lot of stresses. So it's about just moving, being in tune, because if you kind of ignore these symptoms, just like your car, eventually they become bigger and bigger. So you will have to deal with them. And Joan's already mentioned prevention is better than cure. So just looking at that, the cardio, like I said, could include skipping, jogging, brisk walking. She has a walking group. It's gardening, it's housework, it's dancing, it's just moving your body. This is our own personal house. We have, I'm coming up to 46. So say I've got another 34 years, maybe if I'm lucky, to be in this body. This is my personal house. I should be spending more time looking after this that's with me every day and will have to last me for another 34 years than my physical house that I live in. So I really just want to stress, this is your body, it's yours, it's a unique experience. Stretching, like I said, another thing is muscle endurance and strength. So muscle endurance and strength is important the older you get, because our bones get brittle. So this is where you might, you don't have to use weights. I'm not into weights at all. So I like free weights. I like using my body weight. So it could be planks, it could be press ups, it could be doing it against the wall if you have like other maybe health issues or injuries. You can use your shopping bags. There's so many things just to move the muscles. It's squats. There's lots of things you use, but it's about using your muscles. You don't need to. Lots of people complain about like bingo wings. Again, there's things that you can do. The dips. You take your can of beans. You can use the chair. Just using your muscles, stretching. Because what you don't want is where I noticed people. Because when I was on the plane coming, it was a long flight. And I noticed that there was somebody sitting behind me, and every time they got up, they kept grabbing my chair to get up, which showed me that they was unable just to get up from the chair, just using their legs. They needed to assist to get out the chair. They needed to literally put their hands up. So it's just about you just remembering this body that God gave us. He blessed us with this body and it's looking after it. So again, like I said, 10 to 15 minutes, and it's different depending on your life stage. Now, as soon as I hit 40, some of the things that I used to do that literally the weight would drop off, it's not the same. The weight is clinging on tight. Plus I'm hitting the menopause as well. So I've got other hormonal issues which impact the type of exercise. So before I could just do 1 hour session and be fine. Now I do lots of small 10 to 15 minutes and a variety. So I might do a little bit of cardio, a bit of stretching, a bit of muscle endurance, not all on the same day. And I just change it over, a lot of walking. And so just moving on to food. So again, food is really important. And so I can spend time saying, you know, have a healthy diet, a blah, blah, blah. But we all know the messages, they're everywhere. It's really quite simple. But so what I will say is when you're going to eat, think about why you're eating. A lot of people eat for many, many different reasons. And nutrition is usually the last reason. People eat because they're bored. People eat because they're stressed. People eat because they're sad. People eat because there's friends over. People eat because their favorite program is on TV. Many, many different reasons. And nutrition, the reason why you should be eating, is usually the lowest kind of reason. So it's just about for you just to be mindful that actually, if you're eating because you're bored, maybe there's another activity that you could do instead. Maybe if you're stressed, maybe there's something else, another activity. So rather than using food. And so food is our medicine. Food is there to help our body heal. It boosts our energy, it boosts our mood, it helps our brain function. It's there. It's literally, apart from sex and the air that we breathe, the only external thing that we take into our body, something from the outside that we ingest inside. So this is a healing, kind of a healing. It's our medicine. Food is medicine, and that should be our first thing. I have my children telling me sometimes they don't like this and they don't like that. I don't care. It's not a restaurant. So I grew up with my grandmother, who's maroon from Jamaica, and it's my great grandmother, hardback lady. And some of the things, the bitters and the things that we had to eat, and I used to cry, now I'm thankful for. People are going back to those traditional basic ways. So whereas I used to say to her, please, I want McDonald's, can I have McDonald's? She'd say, you want McDonald's? You want McDonald's? And then she used to make her own chips. And then I said, these are not McDonald's chips, these are not, you know, the back, and I cry. Now that's all these homemade burgers, that's all gourmet stuff now. Do you get what I mean? That's organic. Those are the things that we need to go back to, our old school, our bitters, cleansing, the fasting. My granny was doing that on a regular. So we stopped doing that, but our diet is now rich in a lot of processed food. So even when people are, you know, in the supermarket, you look in their basket, there's about maybe 10 to 20% of their food, which is actual whole food. The rest is processed. So again, it's about having a balanced diet. Good fats, good protein, carbohydrates. These are things that we need. So when you hear people, it really makes me cringe when I hear people saying they're cutting out fats, they're cutting out carbs, they're doing all things. What they're talking about, what they should be cutting out, is the processed food. So when most fruit and vegetables have carbohydrates in them, so cutting out carbs isn't, your body needs carbohydrates for fuel. What it doesn't need is the processed food from pasta, rice, and it needs whole foods. So we usually have, your discipline is very, very hard. But we usually, I have a food plan called the 3S food plan, which I put some of my ladies on when they want to kind of reset their body. And because I'm not a person of extremes, so I want to eat my food, and I want to eat as much food as I can. So the first one would be smoothies. So I recommend people, as soon as they wake up, that they should have fruit. Fruit has zero digestion. It's a good way just to clean out your stomach before you line it with other things. So fruits, smoothies are my way because I'm always kind of on the go. So a smoothie, you will put in your nuts. So the best nuts that I would say are, you know, like walnuts, almond nuts, Brazil nuts, got selenium. Walnuts, it's known to fight off depression. These nuts help you with strong hair. You can just throw a handful into your smoothie. Seeds are your best friends. So again, flax seeds. My granny always used to have her flax seeds. They've got like estrogen. So again, because I'm hitting the menopause, my estrogen levels are dropping, they're dipping all the time, which impacts my mood. Again, so having estrogen-rich food, flax seeds, it cleans out your gut. Hemp seeds. I traditionally, since I was a young child, suffered from eczema. My mum, unfortunately, didn't know. She used to make me bath in some thick, some stuff that you didn't want to bath in, some aqueous cream, E45. She used to give me E45. Within about 10 minutes, my skin was dry. Really, she should know about the seeds and nuts. Hemp seeds are good for eczema. Sesame seeds, all of these things, just a little bit of seeds in there. Then you put your fruits, not too many fruits, no more than 2, because it still has a high sugar content. Then you would maybe mix with some supplements, because our food is kind of devoid of nutrients, even from the soil. Having a raw food is really important. So that's why smoothies come into it. So you might add maybe some moringa, like it's been mentioned, chlorella, spirulina, just to give it a boost. And that's a good way to start. The next would be making sure your lunch has a high content, again, of raw food, salads. So tomatoes thing, again, my granny used to do a wonderful dressing. So the dressing was olive oil, lemon, what she used to do, olive oil, lemon, garlic, a bit of cayenne pepper, and just used to store it, shake that out, all that goodness, and apple cider vinegar, your friend. Apple cider vinegar is your friend, and lemon juice. So all of that you can just put it in the fridge, it stores nicely. The seeds, you can get your seeds, so sorry, somebody's asking about seeds. You can get your seeds from any normal supermarket, or you can go to maybe Ivy's got a shop, the Wellbeing Centre in Willesden, really good. One of our own locals, you know, you can go online, but seeds, please, seeds are your friends. Again, for your hair, your nails, your skin, seeds and nuts. And so when people are thinking, are they...
You can eat, I mean, I buy my little pots of seeds from Lidl, 59p.
Yeah.
I'm not advertising Lidl, but
no, but it's cheap. Yeah, so there's no reason.
So
yeah, exactly, the budget. But seeds, they should be forming part of your daily kind of diet, seeds and nuts. And so where I know that people are like, oh, they're high in fat, they're okay having, you know, like their cakes and everything, but then they start talking about high fat or high sugar content or smoothies, while they might have, like, you know, like all these fizzy drinks. I always think, well, that's strange when you're eating that. Well, actually, this is good sugar. And if you have your smoothies, you dilute it with water. So I have seen some people who use fruit juice to dilute. I wouldn't really advocate that. Water, just to take down some of the sugar. But if you're having berries, which is full of antioxidants, and you're having a banana, which you know you would eat, you're good to go. So yeah, and then my next one that I really want to kind of stress, obviously, is water, but especially women, as we represent our kind of the moon, is to have teas. Herbal teas are your friends. Really, you should be having maybe minimum three herbal teas a day, and these will include, the power of teas is so good that if you have beetroot juice, I don't know if anybody's had beetroot juice and then gone to the toilet and looked at the urine and seen it red and been like, ah, you know, the shot. That shows you the power of the juice cleansing. It's quicker. Do you know that obesity, the high level of obesity in children, is down to sugary drinks? It isn't the food, it's sugary drinks. I used to love my super malt and my mighty malts. You look at the sugar in that, it's mad. Okay, so like I think there's about 12 cubes of sugar. So just be mindful, don't drink your calories. So the tea's healing. So my favorite one's fennel tea. If you've got bloating, fennel tea is your friend. It's all digestion, gastric, and I like to mix my fennel tea with peppermint tea. Again, I have like stomach issues. Again, I've got fibroids as well, like many Black women. So the teas are your friend. Raspberry leaf is a uterus tonic for period pain. It clears you out. Marigold is good. I've got hay fever, that was linked to my eczema. So marigold, I will start to take just before the summer kind of hits. It also has estrogen, which also helps. Get to know your herbal teas. It will help you balance your hormones. So yeah, so that's what I really want to talk about. So yeah, I think I've gone on. And just quickly, because like I just said, it isn't just the physical, because what I notice is that because we are people of extremes, you might see somebody who I find like the really spiritual people that are really there, they've ticked off that spiritual box, they're 10 out of 10, and they might have health issues that literally they can't walk up the stairs, let alone run for a bus. So it's about trying to have balance. Or you'll get people that are maybe, you know, like a counsellor, but then they have social issues. So really balance is what we're trying to strive for in everything. Balance in our physicality, so in your fitness. So like I said, it isn't just about cardio, it isn't just about running, it's about stretching your muscles too. It's about using the muscle endurance, muscle strength. It's also about balance. A lot of the injuries that older people have is caused by falls, and the falls is, like just not balance. Balance isn't something that we focus on, but just spending time balancing, learning to balance on one leg, just taking your foot up a little bit, just it improves your core, it improves your posture. And as well as, like I said, the food, the teas are fennel tea, raspberry leaf, marigold. I also, on a regular, again, old school, my granny, but she drank a lot of nettle and dandelion. So that's also something that I regularly have, like weekly. There won't be a week that I don't have, like the nettle and dandelion tea that has vitamin E. You know, like it's really good. You know, like the hormones are all over the place, but herbal teas are your friends, herbs. So even, you know, marijuana, you know, that tea, again, you know, like there's a reason of spasms. So it's not meant for, all herbs are there. It's like nature's friend. And Abby will tell you more about that in her talks. But yeah, she, you know, herbs are our friends. So it isn't that we're supposed to be smoking it. It's that we drink it. We drink the teas, pull them out, the peppermint, all of these things. And so, yeah, so it's really, really important to have aim for balance. When you look at your plate, ask your plate, what are you doing for me? Be selfish. You want to know from your plate, how are you helping me? It isn't about trying to help your taste buds, because then you might as well just have McDonald's, fizzy drinks, sugar all day and every day. It's about knowing, what are you really doing for me long term? And then the last things that I just wanted to mention is about mental well-being. So you've got your physicality, but then you can be really fit and exercise and sad. You know, so there's endorphins that are released, but maybe you're unhappy. Maybe it's things from your past. Maybe there's unmet needs. Maybe every time you're craving that cake, that sugary thing, there's a whole philosophy that says you're lacking love. Maybe it's time to look at that. Why is it that you're craving that sweetness? What is it that you haven't got in your life now? Maybe it's an intimate partner. Maybe there's something with your mother, your father. So it's just about looking at that and trying not to replace it with food. So again, you know, looking at, sorry, so I was distracted by the door. My sister's just in and out, in and out. Sorry, they're telling me the keys. Sorry, people. So yeah, I'm at my sister's house in Tanzania. She's housing me, so give thanks for that and not having to pay rent. But okay, so yes, so the mental well-being, yeah, so mental well-being, your self-esteem, your confidence. So maybe it's time to pick up some books, get some coaching, just do things to maybe challenge. I noticed that Black women, and I work with a lot of women as opposed to men, so I'm not sure about the men as much, but I know that you must have your own kind of demons. We are very hard on ourselves, so we are very critical of ourselves. The research that I think I mentioned when Joan had the mental health was about the research into Black women's mental well-being was about the fact that we tend to have low self-worth. We achieve a lot in the objective stuff, maybe successful at our work, in our career, but when it's looking in terms of how we see ourselves, whether we love ourselves, whether we think we're beautiful, all of these things, we've had society, a lot of hate, a lot of negativity. So sometimes we have to work harder with our self-care, work harder to boost up our confidence when the world is telling me as a dark-skinned woman with, you know, a big nose, big lips, that I'm ugly, but then I will see other people emulating. But then I've just told that my bum, all through when I was younger, I hated my bum, and now it's something that's glorified. I was trying to, all of these things that we've had to deal with, even in families, there's a lot of shadeism, colorism, all of these things that we have to, they're in our brain, that we just have to kind of work through slowly. There's a lot of abuse, whether it's sexual abuse, physical abuse, and abuse that we give ourselves. So we really, ladies, one of the things that I want to say is top up on your self-care. Top up. You can't have enough. It's really not selfish, it's self-focused. If you've got children like I do, again, we're naturally giving, we give to others, we put our needs down low. I'm saying really kind of highlight, prioritize you, even to the point where people are just like, look at this woman, it's all about you. Yes, it is all about you. It is. And especially when the world has been against you, whether it's in your immediate environment, you really have to work on getting and installing your inner coach. So forget your inner critic, your inner coach. And the last thing that I want to just talk about is your soul. So again, the physicality, you've got the mental well-being that you need to kind of focus on. It's your soul. So again, it's the last thing that people kind of focus on, but it relates to things such as your passion, your purpose, your leisure, the meaning in your life. It's, you know, people don't think of leisure as a mental well-being, but leisure is there to give you enjoyment. It gives you fun. It boosts your mental health. It boosts your self-esteem. It boosts your confidence, depending on what you're leisure with. It gives you purpose. Those small things. Sometimes it's not about the money. You might be in a really crappy job, but that 10% that you come home and you do what it is, whether it's writing, whether it's drawing, whether it's baking, whatever your passion is find your passion to kind of celebrate your soul. And linked to that is our brain waves. So we also need to remember that we have different energy states. So there's a subconscious and there's an unconscious. When I was really talking about the mental well-being, some of these things are the subconscious. They're things that we are aware of. There's things that we can tap into where we might have triggers, whether it's stress, where we don't know why we're irritated, but we feel the symptoms of it, the physical symptoms. Again, that's around our subconscious. We kind of know, but we don't know. When we look at kind of the soul, these are things that are maybe more related to our unconscious. They're out of our remit, but we can do or maybe practice different things to kind of instill. So our brainwaves, we're not really consciously aware of our brainwaves, but our brainwaves are important. Our brainwaves dictate the mood that we're in. So we've got our beta waves where we're conscious, we're alert, we need them. If we're in our beta waves too much, that's when we have a high level of stress. A high level of stress means cortisol is continuously released in the body. We only need a small amount of cortisol to get us going, but continuously released in our body means that we're in a high stress. Do you know how many women I deal with that are in almost operating in a high stress mode, that anxiety? They're just, because they're human doings. They're always constantly on the go. They can't be. They can't. To sit down and do nothing, not watch telly, not read a book, not do nothing, causes them anxiety. That shows that you're just always operating in that beta zone. People that need to relax, we need alpha waves to relax. That's visualization. That's where innovation, creativity happens, in the nothingness. That bit where you finally maybe go in the shower and your brain shuts down, you're on the toilet, you have an aha moment. Mine happens when I'm just about to go to sleep. I have a pen and paper. Some of my best things happen from them. I call them downloads, downloads from the universe, downloads from your ancestors, downloads from God, the creator, whatever you believe in. Those are things that happen in a relaxed state. Then you have the insight. I'm muted, I think maybe because I'm talking too much, but basically my message, just to wrap it up, is balance. Balance, people, holistic well-being. Don't just focus on one area of your life. Look at the different areas. I'm working on my social connections this year, being more social. I'm an kind of introverted person. I don't like people much. I'm learning. It's been challenging. Tanzania is forcing me to, hi, mamba. So I'm really getting into it. So that's going to be my focus, as well as intimacy. So those are things that I'm working on. I've got my physical and my health ticked. Now it's just working on that. So thank you, Joan. Sorry.
Don't worry. Thank you very, very much. Naomi, you've opened a whole can of worms here. You've touched on so many things, and it really is about that holistic approach to health, you know, spiritually, mentally, physically. So you have been absolutely fantastic. Joe, I know that you're here. I've seen you.
How are you doing?
How are you, my darling? You well?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
Welcome. I did do the, you know, the big shout out, but I think you might have been muted.
Oh, okay. No worries.
But you're here now. So the people know you're here. You're in the house.
It's a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for coming back on. So I've got a quick question, as always. For how to manage your nutrition in the Western world. You know, right. So we're living in the UK, you know, we're not in our motherland.
Right.
You know, how do we kind of like get onto the right track?
Well, the first thing is we have to understand what being healthy means. We need to have everyone needs to get on the same page to have a general understanding about what health means. And the reason why that is important is because normally people believe health is the absence of disease, and that's the kind of general consensus of how people tend to gauge their health. But the World Health Organization breaks it down to 3 places where it's also about balance: mental, emotional, and physical balance. And it's also about being able to keep up with the daily demands of life, emotionally, physically, and mentally. So when people talk about being healthy, it encompasses all 3 of those aspects of the human existence. So you may not have any disease, but if you're stressed out and you don't cope with stress well, or you're angry all the time, or you're just, not lack of motivation, or whatever the case may be, then you're also not healthy. So when people understand exactly what health is, then it's easier to kind of do something about it because you've defined it now. So now there's a target, and for my main thing is about teaching nutrition as it pertains to people of color, because I spent many years studying the science of nutrition and just understanding different groups around the world and what nutrition suits them. And in that study, I realized that there is no one nutritional setting for the whole globe. There isn't. And it is about genetics at the end of the day. It's about what feeds the genetics, what feeds the genes. That is the basic aspect of nutrition. So nutrition talks about health from the inside out, not the outside in. So it's about how you feel. It's about what you're able to do mentally, emotionally, and physically. So all those things compromises health. And that's exactly what health is. So when it comes to surviving health in the Western world, you must first understand self, what you're made up of. And this is why I talk about this extensively in my book, The Melanin Effect. And it's basically about how melanin influences health and what health is really about. And I break it down in terms of food, circadian rhythm, all these kind of things that influence us as people. The first thing is understanding how health works when it comes to melanin and what the health basis and the parameters are when you want to understand exactly how to be healthy as a melanated individual. Now, there's one key principle I look at when it comes to health, and which is the closer you are to nature, the more healthy you are. The further you away from nature, the more unhealthy you are. There is no such thing as health away from nature. There is no such thing. No one can say they're healthy if they're disconnected from nature. You have to be connected. So what does that mean? Now, culturally, when we look at the African man and woman, our sense of health includes the spirit side as well. Spirituality is a massive part of our health. And on top of that, what we have to look at is that how we are in line with creation and how we express that in our architecture, in our clothing, in our fabrics, in our language, even how we name our children, when we put the God name first in front of our own, even with our food was in season. And that's how we lived. And that's how we actually took from the earth, because eating is a communication device between you and nature. That's what eating is for. So when you disconnect us from nature, when we go from eating with our hands, for example, to eating with a metal spoon, now we've put a blockage between us and nature. This is a communication device. And how you communicate to yourself is an extension of your food. So if you're eating a piece of cake, what is the communication system between you and the piece of cake? So what does your body want from this cake? Does this cake give your DNA the proper information, right? What formation is it putting your DNA in, right? Because what does the body require will be the first thing to understand. The body requires a balanced diet because it needs all facets of these things. It needs healthy fats, it needs healthy cholesterol, carbohydrates, it needs healthy fiber, it needs healthy things, because you have your macronutrients and your micronutrients, and both parties are very much detrimental to health if you don't have them. So you can eat 2 meals a day, 3 meals a day. In fact, you can be vegetarian, vegan. I'm plant-based and I'm vegetarian. And I always tell people that want to live that life to educate themselves on nutrition, because a lot of vegetarians and vegans lack a lot of nutrition. Because there's not enough science involved when they make that decision, which I'll get to later on in my conversation. So the first thing is health. You have to define it, understand it's an inner balance between oneself and the environment. It's a ability to keep up with the daily demands of life, and it's also the absence of disease. But as a melanated individual, your circadian rhythm has a lot to do with your existence. Now, for people who may be familiar with circadian rhythm, that's the internal body clock. If you're not, that's just the study of how melanin moves throughout the day. So intermittent fasting, which is my key area of expertise, is birthed from the understanding of how melanin works. Because what happens is, indigenously, the way we look at food was different. The way our ability to look at nutrition was different. It was purely based on the epigenetics, our ability to survive in that environment. So when you go into the Western world, a massive part of our conversation is about vitamin D, because vitamin D has a psychospiritual, biophysical effect on the body. In fact, in more ways than one. So naturally, if I asked a bunch of people what vitamin D is good for, they'll talk about everything from calcium absorption to it's made in the skin, it's good for you and stuff like that. But people don't quite understand the power of that vitamin D on a melanated individual, what it does to your whole being. And one of the key things I teach a lot about is about how to understand the effects of a Western environment, because it is also epigenetics. It is also looking at the environment, the cold, the weather. For example, lack of sunlight means lack of vitamin D. What does lack of vitamin D mean for people of color? Do you understand what I'm saying? It just means that on one hand, your immune system is going to be low if you don't have enough of it, because people don't understand vitamin D has a lot to do with your immune system. So because naturally people talk about bone strength because of it's known as, you know, a calcium absorber. But also what people need to understand is that your immune system is at play as well. In fact, during the whole pandemic, what people didn't understand is that vitamin D for Black people was one of our biggest tools against coronavirus. Because what people don't understand about vitamin D is that it's also a hormone and a steroid. It's a steroid, it's part of a steroid group, and vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin, which stores in adipose tissue, it stores in fat cells. But it's also a massive part for us, because now when we use vitamin D, we use it for our melanin, we use it for our immune system, we use it for our cognitive function, we use it for multiple things. So that means that people need to, if you're plant-based, for example, and you're a vegetarian, you won't get enough vitamin D in your diet. It's almost impossible. You won't get enough vitamin D that is significant enough to raise the overall vitamin D levels in the body. Now, there's vitamin D1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, but the main vitamin D that we need to have as health is vitamin D3. That's the specific vitamin D that the first thing I would advise people of color to get a hold of is vitamin D3. Now, why is that important to understand the difference? Is because vitamin D2 is what plant-based people get from their diet. Right, the name of the book is called The Melanin Effect. All right, I'll put the link into it's called The Melanin Effect. I'll put the link into the thing. But I do a 30-day transformation challenge that Joe knows of. I do one every month, and you get a free copy of the book if you sign up to the challenge. So what happens is vitamin D2 is what you get from plant-based meals. So you won't get enough vitamin D from plant-based meals. You'll only get a very minute amount. Vitamin D3 is the key vitamin D that we need, but that doesn't come from a plant-based diet. So if you're vegan or vegetarian, you're not going to get it from your diet. You would have to supplement that heavily or get into sunlight, because the vitamin D that you make, that you convert cholesterol from, is vitamin D3. The problem is, if you're vegetarian or plant-based, you're going to have to be in the sun, or you're going to have to supplement it. There is no vegan version of a supplementing vitamin D3. There is none. People have seen products, and Tommy Joe, I've seen products that say they're vegan vitamin D3. It's almost impossible, because vitamin D3 does not come from plants. So I'd be curious to understand how they got it. More times 9 out of 10 is from a form of algae that they're using. The problem with algae is what? Is that algae is also a toxic metal sponger. So things like spirulina, like I've been doing a constant research with some of my guys about CMOS and looking deep into it, because I know that algae specifically as a species is a very heavy metal, toxic metal absorber. In fact, it absorbs a lot of poison in the ocean. So it could be, even though it has antioxidant properties and all these properties, it also has other toxic metals attached to it. So that is spirulina, for example, and other things like that. But without the science, it's very hard to explain to people why some of these things, they're different species. You can't just jump at the first thing we see because it's trending. So these are the kind of things I teach a lot on my 30-day challenge in my classes, is making melanated people understand how their genetics work. Now, vitamin D3, you got to supplement that. Vitamin D2, you can get it from your plant-based supplement, plant-based diet, but you won't get enough of it. So you need to have vitamin D3, which has to be supplemented if you're vegetarian or plant-based. You're going to have to do that. The same thing with vitamin A, because you have beta carotenes from a lot of carrots and all these things like that, but they're not vitamin A. It's converted in the body. So iron deficiency as well. If you're vegetarian or plant-based, you're going to be iron deficient. Why is that? Heme iron is the key iron you need in your diet. So if you're vegetarian, you're going to be deficient. So just because people are plant-based and vegetarian does not make them healthy automatically. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to go. Trust me, I'm a vegetarian and I've had to learn years and years that I'm not doing it properly. That's why a lot of vegetarian and vegans are anemic. That's why they're sick. That's why there's all sorts of heap of trouble and they don't understand it. Know what I mean? So it's just something for us to be mindful of. Now, to give you more context to that, just as Black people, you have melatonin and serotonin, And melatonin is made in the brain. You have serotonin, which is 97% of it is made in the gut. Now, why is this important? Because how these two hormones work says a lot about your appetite, your reproductive system, your pancreas, your liver, your cells, your immune system. These two things regulate almost everything else in the body. So how you feel about self, your melanin is responsible to how you feel about self, how you visualize self. Your perception of your own self-value is based on your melanin. Your cognitive ability, your ability to access memory is due to the neuromelanins in your brain. When neuromelanins in your brain start to die at an alarming rate, which naturally comes with age, if it starts to die at an alarming rate more than what your genes are ready to really cope with, then you have things like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and that's how we even understood neuromelanin was through the study of Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and starting dementia. That when melanin dies in the brain, you lose sense of self, because melanin is a direct connection. It's the biological connection between you and the creator is melanin. It's the physical representation of that. Because when you stand underneath the sun and you get those biophotons, and photon is just the smallest quantum unit of light. That light, what the melanin does with that light is far more than what any other race can do, not because we're better in any shape or form. It's just that the genetics that's set up allows us to access certain parts of that light on sub-quantum levels. So what does that mean? It means that your melanin and your serotonin is controlled by light. Even though they're part of the endocrine system, the only thing that controls them is light. Now that's very important for us to understand, because when we're under sunlight, we're taking a lot of that biophoton in, and we're converting nitrogen to carbon in our body. Hence why you get darker, because melanogenesis takes place. You start to create more melanin. You'll create more melanin, and it wraps itself around the nucleus of the cell as well to protect it from DNA damage. Now, when you get the vitamin D, it can go into the nucleus of the cell because it's a hormone. Not a lot of minerals go into the nucleus of the cell. They go into the cytoplasm and they're metabolized in there, just like potassium or magnesium and things of that nature. So what happens is that melanin starts to absorb that sunlight and start to create DNA repair. It starts to strengthen your melanin. It kind of amplifies. At the end of the day, you're a living, breathing being. You are a form of energy. So biophysics teaches us to look at the energy standard of the human body and what feeds it energy. Because then once we understand our role with the sunlight, then we look at food now. Food has to be phototrophic in its nature. It has to be something that is able to absorb light and hold that inside its biochemical setup, such as the plant. Now, when we don't understand our plant system and what is food, what is herb, what is medicinal, it becomes also problematic. So for example, people love garlic, for example, and cooking with garlic and cooking with ginger, but these things are not daily dietary requirements. Some of this stuff is medicinal based. So garlic is more medicinal, not necessarily part of your daily diet. In fact, if you have too much garlic, it weakens the cellular membrane of the cell if you have too much garlic. So when we start to look at the cultural sciences of our people, look at why they ate the way they ate. Why was it seasonal? Because we followed our body clock, we followed our circadian rhythm. Eating, the way we eat now is an intoxication of food. It is the Western diet because there's an abundance. But even in the Western diet, in the Middle Ages, right, they were not eating abundantly. It was only rich people that was able to eat. In fact, the concept of obesity came along with the abundance of food. It's simply a psychological matter between how you view food. The way we view food is that it's an emotional attachment, it's an extension of our psychiatric trauma, because how we treat ourselves says a lot about the extension of our consciousness. So it means that if you're overeating and you're eating your feelings, it's because you're in pain and you're using food to alleviate some of that pain instead of being able to deal with the biological trauma, because trauma is also passed on genetically. You can pass on trauma genetically to your children, on and on and on and on and on. Now, epigenetics tells us that depending on consciousness, depending on how you feed the body, depending on how you treat your existence, you can either suppress that gene or you can make it even worse by encountering more trauma. So when we look at melanin and begin to understand all of its tentacles inside our bodies, then we understand that it is beyond sacred, it is ancient, it is self-aware. Melanin is conscious within the body. So now you have this divine connection of a cell that relates to sunlight and is able to take that sunlight and create all sorts of things within your bodies, whether it be mental awareness, whether it be gut cleansing, if you want to detox. Especially when people come to me about detox, I'm like, detox is not about what you put in the body, it's about what you abstain from. So when people detox and they talk about you need to eat this and eat this to detox, it makes no sense. Detox has nothing to do with what you put in your body. Detox has everything to do with what you disdain from your body, what you leave out of your body so your body can self-cleanse. It is the liver's job to detox the body. So all you have to do is look after the liver. If you do the job for the liver, what you do is start to shut down certain gene expressions because we have taken over. Because we used to be able to make vitamin C, because we took vitamin C more externally, that gene switches off. The body works on, if you don't need me, fine. It will just switch off. If you don't use me, you lose me. That's how the body really works. So a balanced diet is still important because we're in the Western diet. So we're in the Western world. A balanced diet is still very, very important. Why? Because epigenetics has evolved us or mutated that gene to adapt to the environment. So there's your micronutrients you need as a human being, and you need your macronutrients. So what is the difference? Micronutrients is trace minerals you need in small doses but have massive impact on the body. Iodine, for example, right? Your thyroid, your hormone, that's your hormonal cell, that's your immune system. That's a lot of things with your thyroid glands. Now, things like magnesium, things like iron, you need in much more bigger doses. So they have what they call a macronutrients alongside protein, carbohydrates, fats. These are all macronutrients. And the micronutrients, like I said, your zinc, your copper, your iodine, all these little small trace minerals that have massive impact. Now, when you don't have enough of this in your diet, it's called hidden hunger. So you can be starving right now, eating 4 plates a day. So you can eat 4 plates a day, but if you starve the cell, then you will fall sick. It's all about cellular activity. How well you look after the micro you will express itself in the macro you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what happens during winter, that's why during the winter you see a spike in influenza symptoms. It's not because there is a virus. That is not what causes really influenza-like symptoms. It's because your body is void of vitamin D completely. And on top of that, we don't have the best dietary system to protect us or boost our immune system. And when we don't have that, we'll have influenza-like symptoms. That's why they use the word like symptoms. But you can get that from being exhausted. You can get that from lack of sleep. You can get all these influences. You can have a cold, sneeze, and stuff like that, and people automatically think virus. But naturally, if you're vitamin D deficient, you will have influenza-like symptoms. They had a study on this in Japan when they went to study young people if lack of vitamin D was linked to the increase of influenza-like symptoms in schools. And what they found is vitamin D worked well for respiratory illnesses. So this is why it's such a massive thing against COVID-19, is because it is also a DNA repairer. It stops the virus from multiplying and keeps splitting that DNA up. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's an RNA repairer too. So they found out that giving children vitamin D reduced the amount of influenza in schools and stuff like that. Even developmental nutrition, your children need lots of vitamin D, omega-3s and stuff like that. Things that prepare the immune system for anything. And diet is about really keeping your vitality up, or keeping your immune system up as well, because the vulnerable people amongst this whole situation are the ones that have pre-existing conditions, will be classed as the vulnerable people. But realistically, we've made ourselves vulnerable due to our over-addiction with food, because right now it is a food addiction that we are dealing with as a community. And on top of that, it's causing a lot of unnecessary deaths, from type 2 diabetes to high blood pressure to cardiovascular disease. All of these things are rampant around the Black community, specifically because we refuse to just prioritize health. And it's just so important. So whether it be when they talk about things for your skin, I'm just like, hey, stay hydrated, intermittent fast, get some vitamin E in you. You'll have the best skin possible. It's not every external thing. We need to focus less on the external products and more to understand how to let your body do its job, because the body is smarter than any pharmaceutical drug there is. The body is intelligent, is divinely intelligent, because the concept of thought and thinking is not limited to the brain. See, the Egyptians talk about thinking from the heart. Other cultures talk about thinking with your gut. So these are all forms of intelligence. So when you see yourself as a collective intelligence, right? Because first you need to see some self-value in order for you to protect it, right? So your melanin makes you a damn near superhero. But if you don't know how to nurture it, you will not get the benefits of what this melanin is trained to do. This thing is high powered. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it's infinite. It's through the study of melanin that now scientists are talking about mortality, and talking about how aging will be a choice in 5 years, 6 years. This is what they're talking about in the science community. Why? Because they've cracked some of the codes of the DNA protein that is melanin. Because in there lies the secret to internal youth. Because you can spark things like human growth hormone, which is also a melanin derivative. You can spark things like autophagy during intermittent fasting. All these things are anti-aging properties and slow down the mortality, increase the mortality rate of the cell. But we have to understand that we need sunlight, we need water, we need rest, we need exercise, and we need a proper balanced nutritional diet. Because if we're not doing that, it's problematic. There is no one diet that's going to suit everybody. But a balanced diet means that the body gets enough micro and macronutrients inside of it. Because even with the spirituality aspect of our health, that is based on the biofrequency your body is able to produce. That is the biophysics, because in biophysics, it really gives you the science behind spirituality. Because remember, spirituality was a science for us. It wasn't a religion, it was a science. Even though we've religiousized it now, the reality of the science of that is that when you do, you know, spark that pineal, that melanin, when you do spark it up and that biophoton hits it, it is like a micro implosion. It's like a whole new miniature black hole that's been created. It's the universe folding on itself. You are made from the universe. Why? Because we found more melanin in space than we have on Earth. Right now, through physics and the laws of entanglement, tells us that, okay, cool. Then before I even go into that, our ancestors have long since told us that we are made from subquantum particles in the solar system, that were made from stardust. This is what the ancient Dogons taught. This is what the Shi civilization taught. This is what the Sumerians taught. This is what the Egyptians taught. So then we look at our ancestral lineage and start to look at health and be like, okay, cool, we must redefine it for us in a different type of way. Health now becomes from just the absence of disease and emotional and spiritual and mental balance to a holistic biospiritual awakening is our health. As long as you are asleep biospiritually, health is not present. Health also comes with a level of consciousness and the ability to see oneself in one's proper form, not as the physicality that you are. But so health extends beyond just working out and just eating well. Is also an inner peace, is an inner sanctuary, is our ability to develop that inner space where we can let that light, that internal light shine. But in order to do that, we must first define what health is. We must first understand what melanin is and how it's the protective driving force behind humanity. Because melanin exists in nature, within animals. Animals use melanin in ways that we're still researching because they've tapped into their melanin. So when the chameleon changes color, that is melanin doing that. Just I'm saying, the fact that East African mamba snake is the most poisonous snake, you know why? Because the melanin is the most potent form of poison. So in every animal, they'll use melanin in different ways. You know what I'm saying to you? So, you know, even bacteria melanin, there's plant melanin, plants have melanin. So everything in nature is connected to this synchronicity of collective vibration that we get when we emit that. We call it aura and vibes, but it's the electromagnetic radiation that's around, electromagnetic field that's surrounds our body. We call it aura, but that comes from the amount of electricity flowing through your cells that create that. Because in physics, when you have electricity flowing, right, it's called Faraday's law. When you have electricity flowing, it creates an electromagnetic field. So when you have electricity flowing through the black body, you create an electromagnetic field. It makes us the most influential people on the planet because our field is infinite. It keeps expanding based on your melanin health. So in my book, I go deep into making people understand the basic elements of what your melanin can do. And if you feed it properly, it can change our lives exponentially.
Joe, I'm just, I could listen to you for hours.
Sorry, I didn't want to talk too much and kill everyone's day.
I could listen to you for hours. I mean, it really is so deep. And what I would love to do is to pull together a group where we can, you know, just start this intermittent fast and kind of get it bedded down into our community, because you're quite right. We do not prioritize health and well-being enough.
We don't. And we're just robbing ourselves of that genetic inheritance. It's like you were born in the Wakanda, for lack of a better word. You were actually born in that. Because every living thing, you get that black dot. The first thing you look at a zygote, it splits into 3 layers. So the minute after conception, when you turn to a zygote, it splits into 3 layers of melanin. And at those 3 layers of melanin is your bones, your nervous systems, your hair, how you're going to look, all of these things, right? We get that genetic heritage from our ancestors, just like money, right? You receive a lump sum of money. Are you squandering it? Are you investing in it? What are you doing with this genetic inheritance? Are you wasting it on donuts? Are you wasting it on fast food? Are you looking after it? Because what it's prepared to do for you, you're not even ready to accept the blessing yet of what your melanin is built for. You know what I mean? So hopefully In my work, I try and give my people the science, because it's no good just saying, yeah, this is good for us and this is good for us, but nobody knows the science. Our people were scientists. Even our spirituality was understood from the top to the bottom. It wasn't some abstract concept. Do you understand what I'm saying? So my thing is getting us back to health so we can perceive these higher level thoughts of consciousness that we are talking about. Even when we talk about the halo, there was a time in in the Emerald Tablets, Imhotep writes about how we have ions round our head, because the copper was so magnified and electrical that you can literally see the halo of a glow. And this is where angels got halos from, is because our people were so in tune with the earth and so, you know, in line with the synchronicity of the celestial, to the point where, you know, it's because it sounds like some Avengers Marvel comic thing, right? But when you actually look at the science and break down the amount of things the DNA is able to express, what we've seen Black people do, that our abilities is all around us. So we don't have to make up the facts. We just have to look into ourselves and realize I'm you, you're me, we're all part of this one consciousness. You know what I mean? And it's about who's tapped into it and who hasn't. And if you're in the Western world, and because you are a human being of light, you are children of the sun, make no mistake, because the things you're able to do with that radiation, because remember, we're the only people that convert radiation into usable energy. No one else does that. Just what I'm saying, like, when Caucasians or other people go underneath the sun, if they're there too long, they could die, because that radiation will kill DNA. But when you are a person of color, you're taking that radiation, you're flipping it in all sorts of ways. You're using it for vitamin D, you're using it for the immune system, you're using it in so many different ways. It's almost like a miniature implosion. And then you express that in a sense of peace, calmness. This is where we create our own gardens of Eden, through our mental peace. The mental health and traumatic experiences that we've passed on genetically has been exacerbated by the experiences we have now. You know, all the heartbreaks we deal with, all the you know, growing up in low income housing, the poverty mentality, all these things that plague us today keep that genetic switch on. So in order to help us switch it off, we have to get back to nature, because without nature, there's nothing left. She is the be all end all. So it's just important that my people do understand that.
Thank you, Joe. You have been an absolute—
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the platform. Thank you so much, everybody.
The chat has just been blowing up.
Absolutely
phenomenal, fantastic. Post your details into the chat, please. All the details about the book, how people can contact you, etc. Because this could just be a Zoom on its own. Trust me. Seriously.
It's important that we have it. It's important that we have it.
Absolutely. It's about creating this platform to share the knowledge. You know,
absolutely.
We've got the expertise in our community, so that's what I'm doing, pulling everybody out just to come and talk to us. And you know, we're in a crisis, so
we are.
Key. Health is key. So I'm going to quickly speed on. Gillian, I'm so sorry, my darling, we are running quite a bit behind time, but please hit us with your phenomenal wisdom. Gillian, are you there?
I'm still here. Blessings.
Morning, my darling. Morning. Apologies, we're running a little bit behind time, so we probably—
I've enjoyed it. It's been so amazing.
I'm telling you,
my first time here, and I'm loving it.
It is. I tell you, it's just a wealth of, like I said, people must have their pens, pads, notebooks. Take notes. Yep. Wealth.
I got my pen and I got my notebook, and I'm just like, wow. I've been really enjoying just being a part of your community and what you're doing. Much appreciated and much needed, actually.
Well, we have great works. We've got a lot of stuff to do, my darling. So Gillian is a holistic health nutritionist. So welcome to the platform, and please, you know, let's kick off. I've got a quick question. You know, how do individuals form lasting healthy habits?
Okay, yeah. So in regards to building a healthy habit, I'm a holistic health. So it's paramount to me that it's mind, body, and soul that we think about. It's not just about nutrition. We don't go straight to the foods, but we work around it. So when you're building up a different type of mentality, so that's when you're thinking about habits. It's a mindset, it's a mind frame that you're working around. And you're integrating that into what you've got going on already. So it does take time, and it does take that paper and that pen where you're putting your thoughts down. You're finding out your values. What are your values? Where are you at right now? What is your mission for the year? You might break it down into a yearly segment thing, or you might want to do a 2-year segment where you're saying, what is my passion? What is my mission? What is my value? And you really need to get it down on paper, find out, like really ask yourself these questions before you start making, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna start eating an apple a day. I'm gonna do this. No, just really focus on you. Why do I want to do that? What is my value? What do I want to bring? And every year we do that, it's going to change, because our consciousness is going to arise, and our values are going to change. It's going to rise, and we're going to be able to see that on paper. We're going to be able to have a diary, notice where I was 5 years ago, where I am now, and look forward to the next year, knowing that I'm expanding my being. Hence why I'm increasing on my positive habitual habits, which can be like deep meditation. If you're a person that's not able to sit down and relax, say every day, I want to take 10 minutes in the morning and do deep breathing meditation. Why? When? How? How is this going to fit into my lifestyle right now? So this is the main point of when you're looking to change habits that's maybe been generational. So it's going to take time. It will. So moving forward, it kind of goes into what I was going to talk about anyway, in regards to introducing detoxing into your lifestyle and bringing that in. My name is Gillian Bolton. This is my first time here on this platform. I've been into nutrition for over 15 years now. My main focus when I first started was my mother, who had cancer, and really researching what are the factors that increase the risk of cancer, and let's look into this. That's when I discovered Dr. Sebi at that time, and really got into his eating plans and how to have an alkaline diet, and went to visit him in Honduras. Then moved on to our Dr. Laila Africa, amazing, phenomenal teacher. Got my certificate in holistic health nutrition via him, and then went on to do a degree in human nutrition. So nutritional science and holistic health is my passion, is what I do, is what I love to do, and what I love to share as well. But thank you for having me here, and Happy New Year to you all. I would love to say detoxing and understanding how detoxing works has been phenomenal in regards to working with my clients, and also doing group sessions, working together, forming new habits together as a people. I have to say as well, when it comes to forming new habits, create that team. Create those people that's doing the same thing as you. Look around your circle. Who are the 5 closest people that are to you, and are they benefiting you at this moment in time, and in regards to your values, your mission, and your goals that you're setting for 2021? Do they still match up with that? And is it a beneficial to you? Who do I need to let go of? So that's a part of detoxing in the mind. Who do I need to maybe take this time and say, no, I'm not going to have this conversation right now, or no, I'm not going to go out and do this right now. I'm going to detox my environment, take things away, take things out, detox my body. So it's all assimilating together. And when we do this, it's aligning with consciousness. We're raising our consciousness when we start to eliminate things that can be our crutch. So we can have friendships, that's our crutch, that we call on. We might feel a little something, we might think a little something that might be a bit touching of emotional strings, and it was like, let me call my girlfriend, let me call this, let me have this chat, and then you have a 2-hour chat that completely gets rid of that emotional tug, or you might go for the cake. So these are the things that we say we get rid of at this time, and we say, look, we're going to get rid of these things, and then we can look at the emotional tugs that come towards us in a safe, beautiful environment that we've created. So when it comes to detoxing, your environment has to represent what you're trying to do. If you're trying to be clean inside, your outside environment is a must, has to be clean, cleansed, even saged, using herbs to just clean out the area, the space, so that you know when you look out, this is what I'm achieving inside as well. So whatever's outside is happening inside, and what's happening inside is happening outside. If you have a cluttered space, that can indicate the mind. The mind could be cluttered. Maybe I need time so I can be outdoors where it can calm the mind down. Being with nature calms the mind down, and just being able to focus on things that are not so entertaining. Entertainment is a thing that really grabs us for so many hours and can really take a lot of time out of what we wanted to do in life, our values, our mission in life. So TV, video games, all these aspects, we can like take those out as well. We can also go deeper into what we're searching for, what we're looking for. So detoxing is not just about food, it's about the body, yes, and it's also about our mental mind clarity, and also our spiritual well-being, the way we connect with the consciousness around us. How conscious are we? How aware are we of certain aspects in our life? And detoxing does that for us. So our bodies is a natural detoxer. So what we're doing is we're just creating that environment. We're helping, we're encouraging the process to happen. So we are not the detoxer, we are encouraging that process. We've got our lungs, which takes in the air, but it also expels out the toxins, the pollutions, the things that's in the air that would have caused us stress. It does that already. It's a natural thing that it does. The intestines, it kills parasites naturally. It's a natural thing that it does. Kidneys, liver, skin, the digestive tract. Our body is a walking, talking detox machine. Like, we do it naturally. It's a natural thing that happens every day, all the times. Our cells is doing it all the time. So what we do, it can either inhibit the process or it could encourage the process. So that's what we're looking into. What am I doing right now that is going to encourage my system to do its natural job in regards to detoxifying me? So that's what we're looking into. So we want to say, okay, alcohol is a fat buildup, it's an inflammation buildup, it's a scarring. So this aspect of what I would do in my life will have to be eliminated for a certain time period so that my body can do its job. So we're looking at food combinations can either inhibit the process of the body detoxifying itself, or the food combination can actually encourage that process happening. So when we're looking at proteins and we're looking at starch foods, and we're putting those together. So like fish and chips, chicken and chips, or rice and chicken and beans, and couscous. So these aspects are what we call a poor combination in regards to detoxifying the body. That will be a poor combination. If you're going to combine those two together, it's going to inhibit the body from doing its due diligence in regards to detoxifying. So what you want to do is make sure that you're changing the combinations of your foods. So sometimes a lot of people might say, you know what, right now I'm just going to go straight into a water fast, so I'm not going to have anything. I'm just going to go straight into it after they've just been having sugary stuff, eating so much salt. So they've had so much foods that's already taken a lot of nutrients out of your body. Coffee, the English tea that's got the tannins in it, it really strips you of nutrients. So you're coming into this situation at a nutritionally deficient self. What you want to do is go into it in a more enlightened self. So you're already building yourself up for the process, or you're creating a habit which can last, a lasting habit. So you want to build yourself up to take out things from your diet. So the food combinations, when you're looking at starch, you want to have it with vegetables. So it's encouraging the detoxification. If you're having protein, then you want to have it with vegetables. Then you're encouraging the movement of the body, the bodily movement from in and out, in and out. It's a bit like feng shui, the movement in and out. It shouldn't be in, stuck, haven't been, ain't gone, been a day, been 2 days, let me give it a go. No, it should be a flow that happens. And then when that happens, it's like a build-up. So then you haven't been, you haven't gone, and then eat some more, haven't been, haven't gone, eat some more. The body doesn't work that way. We eat, we bring it in, the body assimilates the nutrients, and then it's time to release the waste. And it's a natural flow that occurs. Similar to us, whether we're bringing in money, we use it, it assimilates and it releases, and we bring in some more, or we use it, we put it here, we put it there, we give it to different accounts. It's the same thing. But if we're at a deficit, then we also want to make sure that we're building ourselves up for a detox, a process that's going to happen. So even when you're looking at times, the times that you want to that you are going to encourage the body to detox. So when the body's naturally detoxing itself, is usually from 4 a.m. to noon. So this time could be your fasting time, your time where you just focus on fluids. You're not putting any foods in your body because you're allowing the body to detox itself. So you won't put any foods in that between 4 a.m. and 12 noon. So so people say, well, what about breakfast? What about like it's the most important meal of the day? Yeah, breakfast is the most important meal of the day because you're breaking your fast. That's the time when you are breaking your fast. It doesn't mean that it has to be at 7 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, as the system says. It just means that you're breaking your fast. So yeah, it will be the most important meal of your day because we need to eat. So you will have to break your fast sometime. So it's important that you keep that space. And if you can keep it habitually, that will be a great detoxifier within itself for the body to get back into the natural motion of how it works. So you have the body detoxifying itself, and then you start, say you could start with a smoothie, or you could start with a bowl of fruits. So you're just easing your way in throughout the day. From noon to 8 p.m., that's you eating and you're done. And then give yourself that time for the body to work. That's when you go to sleep at a very decent hour. So you're making sure that your body's looking after you. Like, sleep is about being selfish. When you go to sleep early, it's like you're telling everybody, like, I'm done. I'm really gonna work on myself now, and I'm gonna go to sleep and allow my body to do its job. So this is the time when the body's assimilating all the nutrients, it's getting to work, digesting, it's really going at all the organs. Maybe you might have some organs that really need some healing. This is the time where the body really gets to work. When you're not doing anything, you're in that state of rest. Your body is healing. So you want to give yourself as much time as possible to sleep and allow that healing process to take place. So sleep is very important. And what I would also encourage as well, if you're at a space where you feel you might be dealing with some health conditions, that's a great time to really see, what can I move in my diet? So that's going to benefit this healing process that's going to take place. So what you would do is maybe say, okay, if I'm going to go on a liquid detox, I'm now going to look at the types of herbs that I'm going to use that will encourage my detoxification.
Back up. Your prolapse needs.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. You've got 2 more minutes. Could be
Okay.
2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. So what I would say is that if it's arthritis, then look at alfalfa, black cohosh, comfrey, burdock. Say if it's a blood cleanser that you want to look into, then nettle, red clover is great. If it's diabetes, bilberry, raspberry leaves. If you really like, if you've got issues with the COVID-19 and you really want to improve on your immune system, so you're looking at ginseng, golden seal, horehound, red sage. These are great herbs that you could implement while you're doing a juice. I didn't even get to talk about the other things, but what I can say as well, I do WhatsApp groups where we focus on a 10-day detox together. So it's all of us working together, and we go through the process, and we go through the meal plans, we go through all the aspects of what we need to focus on when we're doing a 10-day detox. And then we also do another WhatsApp group which has a 21-day detox, which includes the Deepak Chopra meditation. So it's also incorporating mind, body and soul aspect of it. And I've also got a 12-week blood pressure course that really focuses on lowering your blood pressure naturally, how to do it naturally. And I take you through the step-by-step guide on how to do that. And also you can contact me if you do feel that maybe the herbal juices might be helpful for you, because I also do personalized herbal juices. Okay.
Thank you very, very much. I'm so sorry to cut you short. I can't believe we've gone so far over, and we've still got 2 presenters. But what you shared with us has been absolutely fantastic, amazing. And you're just giving them a taster, really, of how to get onto this journey. But please post your contact details into the chat, And I'm hoping we can pick up some of the points that you weren't able to speak about. Maybe people have questions at the end. So thank you ever so much. Phenomenal presentation. Wonderful.
Blessings.
I'm going to quickly call Silburn to the platform, our water guru.
Don't say about that. It's for everybody.
Hi, how are you?
Doing there. Thank you.
Right, I can
Thank
see.
you to all the presenters, and thank you for everyone for turning up this morning.
Brilliant. So, Silburn, water. It's just water, isn't it?
Yes, it is water. You got water, you got good water and you got bad water. Yeah, that's the most important thing. And so that everyone, you may not have known of me, but I own a company called London Cosmopolitan Drinks. That won't mean anything to anybody, but I hope to wow you. We are the first Black British bottled water company. So if you go in, yeah, look, there's Kay holding up her stuff. So if you go to the chat, I've just posted some stuff in there, some promotional stuff, and so that you can have a link. And what I encourage all of you, I am an open person. So if you want to get hold of me or just talk to me, yeah, I'm willing to talk to anybody. And the most important thing, I don't hard sell. This is not about hard selling. This is about, how should I say, being nice. That's the way how I say to our community. Yeah, so there's no reason for me to hard sell. Nzinga Natural Spring Water was born out of a need. If anyone knows anything about me, a lot of things what I do in the community is a first. So things what people say could never be done, could never be brought to market. But going back to the water, our customers experience our water in hairdressers and barbers, because people always ask me, how do I get on with COVID and things like that? And I said to them, we build our foundations not on stone, but on granite. Yeah, so everything what I do, I try and work in step with Mother Nature. And unless anybody on here can come and tell me they know more than Mother Nature, then I'm willing to listen to them. So most of the things what I do, I research and I make sure that they have what they call tangible, attachments to our community. So I'll give you one of the things. We're just digressing from the water. I grew up, I was born in 1961, so I was what you class as first generation, as I said, yeah? And it was a bad time for us then. However, being first generation, what you're able to do is bring all your experience to the table. And one of the things what I learned was a lot of people are going to tell you, you can't do things. And why should you do this and why should you do that? However, I'm a believer with I call it a Black awakening, is that people like you are willing to get up 8 o'clock in the morning and come and listen to this is fabulous to me. So as I said to you before, I'm not here to hard sell. What I'm here to do is to let you know that there's Black British businesses working hard and they're developing brands for you. Yeah, not for the wider world. I don't want, a lot of people come to me and say, why don't I sell to everybody? You know what I mean? If that's another section, as I said, yeah, I just want to sell to my community because all I can tell you, that's where the money is. We are trendsetters. So when I bring you Nzinga Natural Spring Water, I would say to you, you know what I mean, contact me, go on the site. What water is life. Yeah, water is life, right? I'm not the most healthiest person going in my household. I think the cat eats better than me. Yeah, I said, yeah, with the timing. He gets his meal at the same time and he does his fasting at the same time. And so, I mean, I'm not the healthy, but what I do, anything I do has to be better. So when you may say, well, what's better about this water? Well, can anyone unmute and just ask me a random question? John? Yeah, and anyone.
What is in the water?
Right. What is in the water? What's in the water is all the minerals, what you need. Yeah. If you're going to live a healthy life. Yeah. Now, I'm someone who always shows the evidence. Now, I'm going to name a top brand, which everybody knows. And that brand is Evian. And Evian says that its water comes all the way down from the mountains through farmlands and they harvest it. What Evian don't tell you, yeah, that if anyone knows about farming, you use pesticides on farming. So if you're a believer that whatever you put on the land seeps into the soil, then, I mean, yeah, that ends up in the water. That's why Evian has been fined over 3 times. I think they got fined last year as well for contamination water. Yeah. So Mazinga Natural Spring Water, as I said, has one of the highest, I mean, yeah, mineral. Now, if you believe you can live without minerals, then you're a better person than me. So, I mean, the difference is between, I mean, if you want to buy supplements and things like that, that's fine. But if you're someone who said that you want the best Black British bottled water, which we are the only people, so we know we have to bring you the best. We can't bring you the second best. All I can tell you, we do something called the Taste Challenge. None of our customers, I mean, our retailers, I do not let them take it without trying it. That's rule number 1. And Joan can testify for that, I mean, yeah, and other people, I mean, yeah. So I don't just go out and say, oh, take the water, yeah. I don't work like that. You have to physically try it first, I mean, yeah. So what I would suggest, the first 10 of you, I will send you some samples. I'll just look down and choose 10. You email me with your address and all that lot, and I'll send you some samples. The first 10 of you, which I mean, all you have to do is go to the website, and that's my gift to you, as I said, yeah, because I know, as I said, growing a brand within our community, if you know anything about me, these are my skills. I'm not the best communicator. Yeah, I tell you that for a fact, but those who know me, you're not going to outsmart me. So I know that I have to bring you the best. And so I'll give you an example. You'll see a lot of bottles of water out there. Now, this bit you need to write down because this is the most important thing. Our water, yeah, is a place, yeah, called the Mendip Hills. It's on the website. That won't mean anything to you. A lot of Black people would never have been there. It's a place of outstanding natural beauty. It's registered, yeah, as a place of outstanding natural beauty with the British government, yeah? So they protect it. Not on top of that as well, this water, yeah, has organic society. Now, what does that mean, registration? That means the soil, yeah, the land which this water comes from has no pesticides. Yeah, you try and find a water, go into any of your supermarkets. Yeah, you go and go to your fridge, go and find a water which, yeah, has soil association attachment to it. Yeah, so you know that we've invested. So that means no contamination, no pesticides is allowed to use on that water. Yeah, the bottle. I know a lot of you lot will say, oh, it's in a plastic bottle. Yeah, but I mean, this is where, how should I say, I'll just show you something. Plastic is the 8th wonder of the world. If we didn't have plastic, yeah, my underpants will fall down. That's me joking, yeah. However, as I said, plastic used properly, yeah, is good for mankind, womankind, Africa, everything. It's only because we threw it away. As I said, those who were born in the 60s, maybe in the 50s, you would have grown up where plastic was something which they told you was a throwaway product. And that's all we done. We threw it in the bushes, we threw it in the sea, we threw it everywhere, apart from throw it in the bin. Yeah, that's all we had to do. Now there's good plastic and bad plastic. right? People who use the good plastic, when you see a Coca-Cola bottle, yeah, which I only choose brands which are multinational brands, yeah, so that you understand. People with the plastic, this is the best plastic bottle which water can go in to, yeah? Other than this, it's glass, yeah, and things like that. But we needed, as I said, I can't win every battle, but what I can do is, offer a solution. And that's what we try and do with Nzinga Natural Spring Water. So our water, yeah, our customers are in the places where we spend most of our money. Yeah, and where we spend most of our money is in hairdressers and barbers. So we give them a free fridge and we replenish it with water. So if you've got any hairdressers, if you go to a hairdresser's, you need to tell them that ring me or just email me. And what they'll end up with is a free fridge and water. Yeah, and that's how the way we make our money. So part of our business strategy is not to be a burden on our community. And most important thing is bring the community with us. So that's why you don't see us advertising or anything like that. You may say, well, why don't we advertise? We don't want to rule anything. All we want to do, is be business minded. Yeah, because that's what I am first. Business minded and share. Yeah, that sharing part is most important. So what Nzinga Natural Spring Water does, when you say, what do we do? Share. Like just before Christmas, we loaned a single parent mother £450. Yeah, that was just before Christmas. Yeah, and we said, don't pay us back until after Christmas, so that she had enough money. Yeah. The other way we share, we look for people who, how should I say, what's got good ideas. Yeah. And we say to them, they've never met us before, but we track them down because somebody will say, Sylvan, there's someone over there what may need your help. They've got a good product. We look for random people, not friends and families. And then we turn around, I'll give them a call and say, would you like a stall? And they go, to test your idea. And they go, yeah. And we pay for it. Sometimes £150. Sometimes the stall is £50. Sometimes, it's £200. So we pay for that stall for our brothers and sisters who have a good idea to test their ideas. So there's a lot we do in the community. But what I would like to do is take some of your questions. Yeah.
Not just now, so when we do that at the end.
Okay. Well,
has your presentation finished?
Yeah.
Like fantastic. Let me quickly move because we're so behind.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for that. And there's a couple of questions in the chat which my co-host will pick up because people are asking about the pH of the water, etc. But
I didn't see that bit. Just one quick thing, yeah. So that within the Black community, that pH level is a red herring. As I said, yeah. Mother Nature put down our water is 7.4. Now, what does that mean? In the pH level, it starts from in the middle, and then it'll either go one way or the other way, yeah? And what I say to you, drink what Mother Nature provided and wanted us to have, yeah? And 7.4. And if you want to know the reasons why I say that, yeah, this is the acid test. If you had a newborn baby, yeah, would you give them a high pH water, newborn? And the answer to that should be no, because you wouldn't want to, how shall I say, make their tummy upset or anything like that, yeah? If you had someone who just come out of hospital and the doctor said, here's some tablets, we need to stabilize your body and everything like that, would you give them a high pH water? Yeah, and things like that. Our water is naturally filtered, yeah? So there's no contaminants in there, one of the highest mineral counts, yeah? Don't take my word for it, because I always like to say to people, go and find out yourself. Go and find out what minerals your body needs, yeah? It cannot provide vitamin D, so yeah, that holy grail, so I'll tell you the truth. But what it does, it's got the other bits in there, what you want. So we can't live, man, woman, baby, cannot live without salt, yeah, in your body. This has one of the highest natural salt level. Yeah. Now you may say salt is bad for you. I'm going to tell you something. There's good salt and bad salt. Yeah. This is the salt what your body wants. Yeah. Don't tell money. It has one of the highest magnesium. Yeah. Magnesium. Go and have a look. Type in, why do we need magnesium in our body? Like, it's all the things which, what I say, gets misrepresented. I mean, yeah, as we do stuff. I mean, yeah, we learn, as I said, yeah. So within the water, I mean, all I can tell you that when I do the taste test against Evian, and when I explain to people about the water, we didn't have the opportunity, good people, to be second best. We cannot be second best. So when we hold up the water, we don't hold it up because to try and hard sell it to you. We hold it up of a sense of pride because we understand what water is. Yeah. I mean, don't take my word for it. As I said to you before, you ask any mother with a newborn baby, as I said, if you can ask, I mean, the pH level, as I said, starts from 7.4. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Silver. Let's pick it up at the end. Yeah.
Yes.
But I think most people have got the gist about the water and the importance of water. Kay, I'm going to quickly bring you in. I'm so sorry we're running so behind this morning. Okay, welcome to the platform.
Thank you for inviting me. That's not a problem. It's been amazing to sit and listen to all the information, and I'm kind of a culmination of all of it. Just very quickly, I'm going to move as quickly as I can. 10 years ago, I was in a wheelchair. I had 18 separate conditions, and I was taking 70 plus tablets a day. I was very close to death until a friend introduced me to Dr. Sebi. And to cut a long story short, I started following Dr. Sebi. I started researching the raw food documentary. I was in touch with Layla Africa. I worked quite closely with him. And over the course of the 10 years, I've been able to reverse all of my illnesses, including type 1 diabetes, which is almost gone. Chronic kidney disease, gastroparesis, to name but a few. And the only thing I did is change my diet. All the research that I did and listening to all the videos and things, the conclusion that I came to is that it's the diet that we're eating that's making us suffer in the way that we were. And I think Dr. Sebi said it best when he said, if you get a collection of animals from all over the world, you wouldn't give the gorilla the same food you give the polar bear. Yet still, when everybody settles in different countries, they just pick up on the food of that country. We don't travel with our food with us around the world. So at the end of the day, my message to everybody is it's about making sensible choices for your body. And at the end of the day, when the Father put us here, he gave us everything we needed to sustain us. That didn't include a fridge or a processing plant or a cooker. Everything we had was raw, organic, and provided by the Father. As it says in the Bible as well, several times, if that's your thing, food is our medicine. Fruit is our food, leaves are our medicine. And that's a very true, very true saying. And all I want to just sort of finish with is I want to share one photograph if I can. So if everybody can see me now, hi. And I'll show you before, so we can see that the real truth of what we're doing. So if I can have the option, there we go. So that's me 10 years ago. Due to all the medication and all the different illnesses and things that were going on. As I said, I was also in a wheelchair. I had chronic arthritis, both osteo and rheumatoid. So my hands and things were all, sorry, I've done that wrong, were all swollen. My hands were into fists. So I had little claws like this. I couldn't write. I couldn't do anything at all. But as you can see now, my hand, I've still got a few joints that are really poorly, as you can see. But it's about making choices. And it's about eating for nutrition rather than for your tongue.
Thank you very, very much for that, Kay. Some real pearls of wisdom there.
Well, I mean, I also do this. I also do consultations with people and help them to transition through to raw food diets or healthier eating, and to also heal using food. Type 2 diabetes can be reversed in as little as 3 months. High blood pressure. There's lots and lots of little things that are affected by the foods we eat. And if we were able to be as rigid with our food as we are with our medication, we'd be much better off. So we need to start looking at the food like the medicine and taking it in the same way, by prescription.
Yeah, fantastic, thank you. Let me just quickly ask, Nadia, do we have any questions that have come up, any particular themes that have come up in the chat?
Okay, we've got, when Lyndon talked about the okra water, someone wanted to know how was that done, details. Has he got that on his website? Okra
Lyndon, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, yeah.
Yeah, quick, a short answer, because we're so behind.
Okay, the okra water, like a 250 ml bottle, yeah, okay. 2 okras, cut them into quarters, put them in the water, leave them for, I leave them hours, then I refrigerate it, and then I just drink the water like that, yeah. And then you could add some stuff to it. But I'll put a link in the chat, yeah, where I've done a couple of videos about doing the okra water. Okay.
Lovely.
It's that simple.
Thank you.
Naomi, do you have smoothie recipes, particularly for children? Sorry, excuse me.
Yes, I do. I actually do children or parent and children workshops. So you can go onto my website, which I'll give again. And yeah, thanks for the people that have already started following. So on the blog, I put lots of tips, recipes, and I also have a juicing book, which is on Amazon, which also has the smoothie recipes for children. So I'll put my details in there.
Lovely. Joe, CMOS. There's talk about CMOS and the circulum rhythm. Sorry, I do have a chest cold. I hope you can hear me. So one of the questions about CMOS and the other one is about the rhythm.
Circadian rhythm.
Yes, that's it.
As far as CMOS is concerned, it's something I'm still researching and digging into. I can't say that conclusively. I'm just in I am in a space of I need to do more diligence with that to really give you an alternative opinion. As it stands, there are some health benefits for sure, but it's also about protecting our community. So even if that makes me unpopular, which I know it will, if I start cussing CMOS, everyone's going to delete me, but it's all good. At the end of the day, it's about protecting my community by any means necessary. So I'm still digging for that. So sorry, I don't have a conclusive answer for that right now. As far as circadian rhythm, it's something that our ancestors taught a long time ago, and it's just about being in tune with yourself and understanding that as you move through the day, your body is taking different decisions and different actions. Intermittent fasting is one of the most powerful things. So salute to the sister who was mentioning that, because what people don't understand is one of the most powerful healing tools you can use if done correctly. You know what I mean? And the Queen is a testament to that when she was explaining about her inflammation and stuff like that. So circadian rhythm is really a study of your body clock and understanding what it needs and listening to your body instead of following a psychology that has proved self-harm.
Is this in your book?
Yes, this is extensively in my book. Yeah, so even when I do my 30-day challenges every month, I do weekly classes on it. I break down the science of melanin and health and what it does and what's going on. So you get that weekly seminar side of it, as well as nutritional coaching, all involved in the 30-day transformation challenge. That's why I run it every month. So some people can catch some months, some people can't catch other months. But it's really about the science and education.
Okay, lovely. Thank you, Joe. Kay, what changes did you make from that transition, 10 years ago, that you would say really contributed to you turning around your wellness?
I was so close to death at the time. It was an option, really. Do I want to live? Do I want to die? And I wanted to live. So the main message that I picked up is, well, just very, very quickly, what I can say is I spent 3 months in hospital. They couldn't find out what was wrong with me. And so what they did was sent me out with even more medication and sent me home to die, basically. And after 2 months of sitting at home, losing my hair, my nails, my skin was going, I was feeling worse by the day. I decided I can't do this. I can't take this medication anymore. So I went on a fast. I did a water and green juice fast. I initially wanted to do it for a week. After 3 days, my body started moving. I hadn't been able to go to the toilet for 15 weeks at this stage, which is why I've been in the hospital. And even though I'd been on liquid food, they insisted I was constipated. Anyway, after 3 days on the green juice and water, my body started moving, and I started passing capsules and capsules and it carried on for the next 3 weeks. So after 3 weeks, I continued with the water and the green juices, and about 3 months in, I thought, okay, I feel amazing now. And it's almost as if my immune system kick-started itself. So that's what I started with. I started with a water fast. It then started including green juices. And then at the end of 3 months, I was ready to go. Then I started introducing things like apples and lettuce, because I hadn't eaten any solid food for 20 years before that. So first of all, I didn't know my body would deal with the green juices, and it was absolutely amazing. It blew me away. I never felt I could feel so good. And as time progressed and I started putting in more raw foods, more fruits, more vegetables, cutting out, I used to drink coffee. That's all I used to drink, 30, 40 cups a day. Cut out all of that, and really just gave my body the tools that it needed to heal. And just very quickly, what happens is we are born with all the nutrition we need for a healthy life. But as we eat rubbish food, it actually costs us in our nutrition to digest those dead foods. So by the time we get to sort of 50, 60 years of age, we've run out of nutrition. This is why we become sick.
Sorry, we can't hear you now. Sorry, Kay, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I said all I did then was give my body back the nutrients it needed, and literally sat back and just let it heal itself. Once I
You've gone. We can't hear you again. Sorry.
I think
yeah, somebody keeps muting me.
Okay.
because we're conscious of the time, but it's past. That's why. So
Are you still in a wheelchair? That was one question. Have you been able?
No, I came out of the wheelchair after about 4 years. I'm walking now, and I walk every day to try and build my muscles up and everything.
Lovely. And now, Silburn, I've just got one more question. Just wanted to know whether this water is on par with Kangen water. What's, you know?
They would have to tell me what Kangen. I mean, all I can tell you, as I said, I don't know of that water. In respect, but what I try to do and bring to our community is the best UK water. Yeah, and so I mean, what that means is it's Soil Association accredited. Yeah, a place protected by the British government, a place protected as well by the those charities which does walk in and everything, a place of outstanding natural beauty. And so when you've got those factors, a place of outstanding natural beauty, a place of registered with the organic and soil association, what I say to people, what can you only get from that? And what I hope comes from that is how should I say, good things. It's like when you use the word paradise. If you use the word, I mean, I'll make a little joke. There is no place on the planet where people not of color owns where it's called paradise. Everywhere where it's called paradise is people of color. Yeah. So I mean, what I hope I'm giving you is paradise. Yeah. Something good. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the question.
That's all I can do, because as I said to you before, we have to be careful. As I said, I'm under a strict, I can't tell you this, a strict guideline. As I said, water is life. So being the first Black British bottled water company, if you think that people are just looking at COVID, could you imagine the microscope that I'm under? I have no room to fail, as I said, yeah, no, I mean, because the microscope which I'm under, as I said, yeah, and the environment which I'm in, as I said, yeah, my competitors will say, no, I've got no, I mean, I shouldn't be in that marketplace. It's our place, yeah, but I know you're my customers. You look like me, you understand me, yeah. And that's it. And the most important thing as well, because I know there's a lot of women on here, you may say, why did I, this is bit's important, say, why did I choose the word Nzinga? And this is, I mean, regardless of whatever I say here, but this bit you need to understand. The reason why I called it Nzinga, because I couldn't call it Peckham Spring or Midlands Water or anything like that, yeah? So what, I mean, it took over 6 months for us to come up with the name.
Sorry, Silburn, co-host, can somebody mute everybody? Because there's really bad feedback on the platform.
Yeah, okay. The reason why it's called Nzinga Natural Spring Water, I urge everybody to type in the word Nzinga, yeah? I mean, type it in. And what you'll find it is, it's a queen, yeah, a warrior queen, which defended us. Yeah, as I said, against slavery. Okay, so I mean, I thought the best way, we don't do that when I look around the world. We do not highlight that that women has a sense of achievement in the place. Yeah, in our place, in men's place. And you'll find that in many culture where women always come second. And I thought, women give birth, yeah, women fight, yeah, and Queen Nzinga, that's what she done. So I wanted to make sure that one of the things was none of us had any rights to be here. And if things went to plan, we all would have been in Africa. Yeah, we all would have had different names and everything like that. And all I wanted to do was honor, I mean, our ancestry in a good way. Yeah. So please, people, I mean, yeah, it's not me taking away from Africa. I'm saying to you, I'm making sure that I'm still in touch with Africa. And don't, when you look at the blue, yeah, when you look at the blue in that, we are a people of color. We like color, don't care what it is, yellow, pink, then go and have a look at African dress, African shields. I mean, yeah, I know it may not sound at this moment in time healthy or whatever, but what I'm trying to show you is that we, as I said, are trendsetters, doctors, scientists, everything. We invented color, as I said, yeah. So that when you see that blue, as I said, yeah, just understand that it was chosen for a reason. It's our color. Look at the blue, what you'll see, the big blue sky, the big blue ocean, as I said, yeah.
Thank you, Sylvan. That's one of it. Any more questions?
No, that's it. That's it for now, yeah?
That's it for now. Right. I want to ask participants on the platform, if anybody has any questions, could you please put your hand up in the chat and I will come to you. Any particular questions? If you just put your hand up in the chat. Anybody want to ask anything? That's our format when we do these platforms. Ah, we've got 2 people with their hands up. Okay, let me go to the... Right.
Joan, I can't hear you.
Faye Lewis, hello, good morning. Where are you calling in from, darling? Is that Faye Lewis? Do I have you on the platform still?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, is that Faye?
Yes, that's me. Hi. Can you...
Good morning. Where are you coming in from, darling?
Coming in from Spain.
Ah, Spain, lovely Spain. Welcome to the platform. So do you have a question for one of our presenters or a general question you'd like to come out?
I think it might sound like a silly question, but I really don't know. What are the signs of diabetes? What are the signs of diabetes? How do you know someone has it or you're on the brink or whatever? What are the signs to look out for diabetes?
I think that's a question for Mr. Wessart. Lyndon, could you quickly answer that? A short answer, please. Are you there, Lyndon?
Sorry, yeah, I'm here. Sorry. Yeah, blurred vision, always feeling hungry, always being tired, pins and needles in the fingers and the toes, putting on weight or losing weight, always being tired as well, urinating frequently. So these are just some of the symptoms, and slow healing of cuts as well. Days, yeah. Okay. So yeah, definitely. Okay. There's a list of them.
Does that answer your question, Kay? Thank you.
That does, yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There's a list there, look.
All right, so you've got these on your website, haven't you, Lyndon?
Yeah.
Okay, so please visit your
website
and you can pick up lots of useful information there. So moving on to Samsung, you've got your hand up. You could identify who you are.
Yeah, I'm a young female and I'm based in the London area.
Okay.
The question I needed to ask was basically, with the menopause, I've actually put it in the chat, what would you recommend for the bone health during the menopause?
Right, Gillian, would you like to answer that question for us, please? As our health nutritionist on the platform. Hi, Gillian.
Hello, hi.
So when it comes
to bone health, sorry, I was with my children coming back. So when it comes to bone health, if we're looking at saying where we've got children and we're looking at our own health and we're looking at their health as well, so we're increasing our calcium levels, but we don't want to go towards calcium that has a lot of lactose, a lot of sugar in it, because that will kind of doesn't work well together anyway. What we want to do is go for the green leaves that has those elements in them as well, but doesn't have so much of the high increase of the sugar in regards to our bones. So when we're looking in regards to taking out the minerals out of our bones, you want to definitely get rid of any kind of salts that's been added in to your diet, like if you're adding in the salts or you're putting in like all-purpose seasonings, so that will take away from the nutritional value for your bones and it won't do you any good. Tannins in the teas, so that would be like English tea, that will take away minerals from your bones as well. Coffee also does the same thing. These are like inhibitors.
Wow.
The nutrients from your bones, so they will make them more brittle, and you will have more inflammation around them as well. If you're having dairy, that will create more inflammation around it, so that will make them even more brittle. And you want to cleanse your blood. The herbs that I mentioned as well was like nettle, red clover, 100%. Red clover, like if menopause, red clover is your herb to go to. Hyssop, sorrel would be the herb to go to while you're doing a fasting as well. So that's what I would suggest. Don't really go for the dairy products, more go for the green leaves in that aspect, and make sure you're using them well. So if you're doing a smoothie or you're doing like a juicing with the green leaves, don't mix the apple with the green leaves, because that just counteracts the synergy in regards to making sure that you do have good health with your bones. So spinach, cucumbers and celery with kale all mixed together, that's a great way to just have it's not for taste, it's for nutrient, increasing your nutrient value. So always remember that why you're doing what you're doing, why you're changing your diet is a great way as well.
Thank you very much for that, Jean.
I was also told coffee and lemon juice. Is that not recommended? Coffee and lemon juice?
Well, when it comes to so if you're talking about menopause and you're talking about women's health, I wouldn't go for the coffee. I wouldn't, mainly because it does take away a lot from us as women. It extracts a lot of the nutrients. So if you're high in nutritional value and you might have a coffee every now and then, it's not so bad. But if you're already feeling the strains of feeling like brittle bones, I wouldn't go for a coffee. I wouldn't.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that, Gillian. Next question, PJ Salisman. You can say who you are and what area you're calling in from.
Morning, kings and queens. Happy New Year. I'm from New Eltham. I'm part of your walking group, Joan. I haven't been for a while. I do apologise. I will be getting back on it.
Good.
Basically, I work for the NHS, so my work has not stopped. I've been in and out consistently. So it's really time management for me. And I just want to find out what's the kind of quick meal prep. So I want to know something I can have quickly for breakfast, lunch and dinner, and something maybe I can prepare and keep in the freezer for a period of like a week where I can just take out, but it's full of nutrients as well. I'm a woman kind of reaching the menopause age as well, so I would, all those things incorporated. Anyone can answer that?
Can I ask Kay? Could you give us a quick answer, Kay? from a raw vegan perspective? I'm going to come to Naomi.
Yeah, things you can do are things like overnight porridge, which you can set in your fridge and put in jars and keep in your jars so you can take on the go. Salads and things like that, you can keep in glass jars in your fridge. Energy balls, very quick and easy to make. Beauty of raw food is it lasts for about 3 days max in the fridge. So you prepare every 3 days. And as long as you prepare sufficient, you can have enough to take with you on the go to work as well. And of course, fresh fruit. It's quick and easy, always readily available.
Okay,
Anything
thanks
to
very
add to
much.
that, Naomi?
Sorry?
Naomi, if you've got anything you could add to that?
Yeah, so the salads are a really good idea, and then I was also going to suggest as well as the smoothies and the juices. So I do batch juicing. So rather than doing it constantly, you can do your maybe 2 or 3 juices at the same time, and then you can keep them in the freezer. So on your way, like to wherever you're going, it can melt. The smoothies are a good one also to have, but the batch juices, because juices are your friend, especially if you're having a green juice. So like I think someone else mentioned the celery, kale, cucumber, apple, just to clean out your gut. But also soups as well. So natural soups are good soups, and that's quite easy to make. So my favorite soup is you can do carrot, potato, onion and garlic. You just literally just simmer it and then blend, and it's good to go. Or courgettes. So it's using the same type of formula, almost like baby food, but it's a nice quick prep that you can do. I don't like to spend long in the kitchen, so less than maybe 20 minutes at the most.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. So I've got Jill. You've got your hand up. Where are you coming in from, darling? And what's your question? Jill, are you there? No? Okay, I'm going to move on to the next person. Avita. Hello, Avita. Good morning. Where are you coming in from, my darling? No, Avita. Okay. We've got Elizabeth.
Hi.
Hello, sorry,
Hi,
it's
Joan.
Avetta here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello, it's Avetta here. Sorry about that. Just sorry about that, Joan. Just very quickly, I'm from North London, and in my late 50s, started suffering from osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. I'm doing all sorts of things, cut out dairy, cut out coffee, etc., trying to have a healthy diet, but nothing's working. I'm on medication and I'd love to be medication free. Any suggestions from the nutritionist? Thank you.
Joe, would you like to take that question? A short answer, please.
It's a hard to answer. There's so many variables about your medication, your condition, how far along it is. It's not as simple as just jump on a diet and then just come off medication. I don't think it's that simple. I think we have to be very, very careful about individuals, because what works for one individual may not necessarily work for another. So it's really, really complicated. I'll need a lot more information from you and your medication, how long you've been on it for, why, when you're coming off of it, how's your body responding to it when you haven't. So unfortunately, there's not a straight answer I can give it. What I would say is start to just consult. I always tell people, consult your GP about the medication and how it affects certain things first before you make the change. But it's, in all honesty, I'll need a lot more information from you to understand the best way to get off that. But I do know adding a more cleaner diet gives the body a more fighting chance to detoxify itself from the medication itself and flush a lot of that out. So that's always helpful. But I would have to know more about you and your condition before it's possible to give you a safe answer, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, does that help?
Not really, because I
sorry.
know all that already. That's the thing. I've been doing research and I think I need a nutritionist who has dealt with this area, because I know there are lots of people out there who reach their mid-50s, early 60s and start suffering from arthritis.
Yeah, of course. It's an inflammation of the joints. So we know it's inflammation of the joints. We know what has it. So what I'm saying is that, well, within the research you would have done, you'd find out is that intermittent fasting is something I use as a framework when I do healing and stuff like that. I'll use intermittent fasting. So it's about which vegetables and stuff like that do you have the enzymes for as well, because some things that might be prescribed might make you feel sick. So what I'm really trying to push home here is that use things that detox the liver. Use the liver. The liver is a central point for inflammation in the body. So naturally, I would say look at herbs and foods that detox the liver. Intermittent fasting is a great way to remove a lot of toxins and fat buildup in the liver. So I would, and to give you something to practice, so you can be pragmatic right now, is intermittently fast is what I'll say to you right now. And have a balanced diet is the way forward. And it's about consistency. We won't know how long it will take you to get rid of it per se. That's what I mean, that it's more intricate than that. But yeah, if it's nutritionists you need, I'm also available. You can message me and stuff like that. And there's other great people in the live too.
Okay, thank you.
No
Just very quickly, can I add to that, Joan? Because I've had arthritis and osteoarthritis, and I don't think it's just one thing that helps. It's the whole package. So you can't say just use apple cider vinegar, which is supposed to be really useful. In isolation, it's not going to do anything. It's got to be the entire diet that you look at and take out the things that cause inflammation.
Yeah, I think I'm glad to hear that, because yes, I've tried apple cider vinegar, I've tried cutting out sugar, and it's a bigger picture, a bigger story. I think I from what you're all saying, I think I need a personal nutritionist actually to look at the personal.
Here of fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I do consultations to help. I know that Joe does stuff as well, and so whichever one suits.
Right, thank you. Have you all put your details in the chat?
Yes.
So we can find you. Okay, then.
Fantastic.
That's what I'll have to do. Thank you very much. This is brilliant. Thank you. Have a good day.
Hi. Sorry about that. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I was on mute. I couldn't unmute myself.
All right. Welcome. Where are you calling in from, my darling?
I live in Romford.
Welcome.
Question for Joe and Lyndon, really. I rushed out, I think it was last year or the year before, and bought Lyndon's book because I'm type 2 diabetic, and I was doing really well, but I backslided now a bit. I followed, doing the okra water, adding cinnamon, followed some of his recipes, and it was wonderful. And I was trying to get in contact with him. I don't know if you can hear me, Lyndon, through Jean Blake. I was going to ask her for your number, actually, because
I'm here.
Yeah, I fell off the wagon a bit, but I was recently diagnosed or told that I have fatty liver disease. And this was asked I know some people have mentioned about not drinking coffee. I avoided coffee for many years because I was diagnosed with intracranial hypertension. I don't drink or smoke or anything like that, so they say it's they don't know the cause, basically. I avoided coffee, but now I've been told that if I'd have been drinking coffee, that might have prevented me from developing this fatty liver disease. I don't know if Joe knows some things I could take to try and reverse the fatty liver. I'm gone back to cutting down, and I'm trying to be better. Also, sorry, I'm being a bit But Joe, could you tell me, and Lyndon maybe, what I can do? Because I'm really good at meal times. I'm good with the juicing. I'm good with the intermittent fasting. And then at night, massive cravings. And not so bad now because I don't have them in the house. But for months, I replaced the sugar addiction for salt. And I was just on the salt and vinegar, Chris, like a fiend. And I think that's what to be inflamed.
I think you need to move in with me. That's what you're at. That's what you're at. I'll be beside you, but I'll be beside you morning, noon, and night. You'll be fine. On another note, like you just said, I had a fatty liver as well. I had to go for a body scan, and they said that I had a fatty liver. And it's funny, when I didn't want to talk about my diabetes when I was diagnosed, so I spoke to a friend about it, and I said, "Listen, man, I got diabetes. Chum, I got diabetes." And he goes, and I said, "I got fatty liver as well, because that's what I just come from the hospital." And he goes, "Oh, you got fatty liver? Why don't you take lemon water, warm lemon water in the morning? That will help with the fatty liver." And that's the only thing that I got regarding my fatty liver. So I started to add fresh lemon to my morning drink. So 9 times out of 10 in the morning, I'm just drinking water anyway when I wake up. That is, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Joe, but that worked for me.
Yeah, the fatty, for the liver side, fatty liver side, if you intermittently fast, your body will pull from that fatty liver to use it as well. You can use ginseng, green tea, turmeric, garlic, ginger. These are all things that help detoxify the liver. So if you work with that within intermittent fasting, that will be very, very useful as well. I think you had another question as well that I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple. I don't want to bore it.
We're running out of time, my darling.
Okay.
So just
what are your views on like decaffeinated coffee and artificial?
That's it. Sorry, that's it. Coffee was the coffee thing. I forgot. The thing about coffee, it's caffeine issue, not necessarily coffee. Here's the thing: the research in the scientific research is on caffeine, not necessarily coffee. So, organic ground-based coffee also has some health benefits to it. The science that draws the minerals from the bones, as the sister was saying, is the caffeine is the main issue. So that's the difference. It's not coffee as a whole. It is caffeine is the problem.
Yeah, unfortunately, they say it's the caffeine that helps to heal the liver. That's what I'm being told. And what are your views on artificial sweeteners? Because you know, like when you're diabetic, especially, and you're trying to come off the sugar cravings, sometimes I try and stay away from them. But my kids, for instance, I don't want to give them the natural, raw cane sugar, and I'm trying to decrease sugar in their diets. But then I find that when you're mixing drinks and they say no added sugar, other artificial sugars, are they not just as harmful, if even more so?
When it comes to sugar, really and truly, I use sweeteners for like organic honey, organic nectar. When it comes to sweeteners, artificial sweeteners are never the go-to. It causes way too much oxidative stress in the body. I wouldn't go to artificial sugars, in my opinion. Like I said, I stay close to nature as much as possible, and nature will give me nectar. It will give me organic honey, which medicinal properties. So when it comes to sugar, it's about management. You need potassium, chromium to properly store sugar in the body. So if you're having the right potassium and chromium from your food source, these things store sugar properly within the body and won't allow you to dip into a hypoglycemic state. It would help you store the sugar properly so you can break it down as and when you need it. So with sugar addiction, it's about alternatives. It's not about cutting out completely. It is about alternatives. So organic honey is what my preference is, or nectar is the two things I use for sweetening something. But I don't know if Lyndon has something else that he uses too.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go to the extreme of that one, Joe, because I think with Gillian, you just got to be disciplined and don't take the processed sugar. Just forget about it and try and have your drinks without it. I used to drink tea with 4 teaspoons of brown sugar.
I've cut out the sugar, and I've done really well with cutting out the sugar, and I don't eat white potato, tried not to eat too much bread and stuff like that. I'm really good with that, but I'm finding it's the cravings. It's the cravings that I don't know if I'm missing a mineral or a nutrient that's making me crave so much, because meal times I'm very disciplined. But
potassium and chromium will ease all that. Potassium and chromium. Get potassium and chromium in your diets from kale, from sweet potatoes or plantain. They'll give you enough potassium and chromium. Potassium and chromium are the two essential minerals for the proper storage of sugar. If you're craving sugar, it's because you don't have enough. These are hypoglycemic tendencies. So if you have potassium and chromium in your diet, the sugar will start to ease. Yes, you can cut it out, but most people have withdrawal symptoms because sugar is a very addictive drug. So I recommend that you implement the right minerals to help you properly manage the sugar, because you will just crash and reverse. And for some people, they have the discipline to do it, like what Linda's talking about. For the majority of people, it's beyond just the discipline, because there is a psychoactive trauma related to sugar. Because, for example, your taste buds has a protein that lets you know when you're having too much salt but not too much sugar. So it's gonna be a constant flow.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is introduce chromium, potassium, magnesium, and that will store the sugar properly.
Yeah.
And for me, what happened to me? Sorry?
I was going to say, can I just add very quickly as well, for the sugar aspect of it, I think what of us as diabetics don't realise is that although fruits are very sweet and do have a lot of fructose, fructose is actually a good sugar that encourages our cells to behave in the right way. So it's about having sufficient fruit sugars within your diet to hopefully help with the cravings of the processed sugars. So for me, when I got cravings, I used to go and eat grapes. Grapes are really sweet, really good. A lot of sugar in them, but as you become more into the raw diet and your body nutrition balances out more, your body deals better with the fructose and actually uses it to heal and make new cells. So don't run away from fruit sugars if you've got diabetes. Just be careful. If you find a fruit that rises your sugar, then leave it until your body's better able to deal with it, and then try it again at a later date.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. I'm going to quickly go to Elizabeth. You've got your hand up. Where you calling
Yes.
from?
Yes.
Quick question, quick answer.
Yes. Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Yes, it's nice to see Lyndon and Abby Osho here and all these wonderful people. Thank you, Joan. Quick question. Number one is I've been diagnosed with DVTs. That is deep vein thrombosis. Now, I've been through 101 different tests from top to toe, and they can't figure out what it is. I don't do long haul flights. I mean, none of us did during COVID. And I'm on medication, and I've been on medication now for 2 years. I'm just wondering if I can replace those drugs with something, natural, if it's fruits or changing my diet or something. Because of course, it's very worrying that you've got a blood clot running around your body that can cause a pulmonary embolism or go into my brain, enter into my lungs, and I won't know that it's happening. And the second quick question.
Let me quickly answer your first question. We don't have any actual medics on the platform, so it really goes back to what Joe was saying. Someone would have to have a proper consultation with you to go through your medication, your health history, in order to be able to tackle that particular part of what you're.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Because this is really about blood thinning. And I just wondered if there was just a general thing on a fruit or whatever on blood thinners. Anyway, the second question was with regard to intermittent fasting. I've heard a lot about it on the program, and I'm very impressed what the results could be using that method. But I'm hearing a lot about the intermittent fasting. What I'm asking,
my darling.
The question is, if we fast from morning to midday, does that mean that it's okay to eat late at night?
Oh.
Because
I can answer that. No, but Joe
No.
can.
But then
Definitely.
how long are you going to You're not eating until midday.
Intermittent fasting is aligning your body, your feeding time with your body clock. So really and truly, feeding time in the human body is from like 12 midday to about 7, 8. So that's an eating window. Doesn't mean eat from 12 to 8. Please don't do that. But it's an eating window. And no, I had a client literally ate from 12 to 8. I said, yo, don't do that. It's just your eating window of when you eat food. It's about just encouraging a proper relationship with food. So you want to fast from 16 hours plus to really get the most out of it. And that's just literally, if you stop eating at 7:30, 8 latest, and don't eat again to 12 the next day, 12 midday, that's 16 hours. And if you eat at 2 o'clock, you would have had 17, 18 hours of fasting. So intermittent fasting is feeding yourself properly. But in order to do that, you're going to have to, eat at the right time during the day to get the benefits out of it. So the most popular one is 12 to 8 o'clock is the most popular one.
Okay, got you. And lastly, is it possible to drown from drinking too much water?
Wow.
No, you can't drown from drinking too much water. You can't drown per se, but there is conditions where you can eat when you can drink way too much water, where the water's not getting absorbed into the cells. Because if what you eat and drink doesn't get into the cells, you will have problems. So it needs to get into the cells. So it's about adequate. It's not about excessive. But no, you can't drown, because drowning is to do with fluid buildup in the lungs. But when you drink water, it goes into the stomach. Hopefully that.
Yeah. So what's the total maximum amount of water one should drink? I've heard 2 liters is optimum.
Silbert, I'll give that to Mr. Silbert, the water expert there. What is too much water, sir?
Well, thank you very much. I'll make it easier for yourself.
Short answer, please.
right? The minimum what everyone should be drinking, yeah? Remember, water comes in different things. So if you're drinking coffee, you've got some water in there. It's 2 liters a day, yeah?
Yeah,
So
okay.
you can look, I mean, you can be more scientific. You can look it up and say, this is my weight, and you can do a calculation. There's stuff online you can look and see. But what I would be saying to you, if you're going to go down a healthy, and I mean, yeah, and try and eliminate, I'm just going to choose a number, 50% of your ailment, yeah? The minimum you should be drinking is 50% of water, 50%, 2 liters of water a day. That's what you should be drinking, yeah?
Got it. Okay, thank you very much. I won't
Yeah.
take up more of your time.
It's okay.
I wanted to say something as well, that I do these juices, which are blood cleansers. I think that might be able to help you as well. And it's like a small juice that you take on a daily basis that can encourage any health issues that you are having.
Fantastic, thank you. Right, I've
Thank
got
you.
3 more questions and then that's it. Marie, you've got your hand up. What area are you calling in from, my darling?
Hello, thank you for wonderful platform. I'm calling from Enfield in North London.
Welcome.
All right. My
That's a
question.
quick question.
Yeah. The eating window. Do you still have to space out your meals? Say if you're having 2 or 3 meals, do you have to space them out like 5 hours apart, or can you eat anything within, any time within that 8-hour window or 7-8 hour window? Thank you.
Space it out. Space it out. It's better for your gut to be able to digest things once you're spacing food out. And what you find out when you do start intermittent fasting, your appetite will reduce to a more normal condition where you can be in tune with your feeding cues and being full. So within that 12 hours, space your food out where you can. 3 hours, maybe 3 to 4 hours, nothing crazy, but 3 to 4 hours is what I normally advise for people to space their food out. And remember, when you're intermittent fasting, it's the quality of food, not the quantity.
Fantastic. Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sonia, Tia, quick question. Where are you calling in from, my darling?
Hi, hi Joan. I'm one of the Queen's Walking Ladies, and I'm calling from Catford. Yes, and I wanted to find out, really, Selburn, where can I get your water? Okay,
you can just
how
go
often?
to the website, Sonia. So Selburn will put the details into the chat, and you can just go to the website and you can see how much the water is and what quantity.
Okay then.
Yeah, I'll just send me a direct message and then I will tell you. Yeah, there's a shop.
Okay then, no. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good website. Very good website.
And the other question, sorry if it seems silly, when you say intermittent, what do you mean? Intermittent fasting, every other day, every day? I don't know. Just give me an idea.
For sure. Very short. Intermittent fasting is more throughout the day, sporadically eating. So normally we go from continuous eating to more sporadic. So we're doing a calorie restriction. So we're having food within the safe zone for your digestion. So let's say 12 to 8 is a popular fasting, but there's different types of it. So 12 to 8 is like an eating window, and you eat like 3 meals. You can eat 3 solid meals, but if you're trying to weight loss, then it'll be something different. But what intermittent means that from sporadically is like from time to time, but within the same day, you have 12 to 8. If you do this once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, is up to you.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Thanks, Joan.
You're welcome, darling. Margaret Burgess, you have your hand up.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, everyone. Quick question. Vitamin D. Can you hear me?
Yeah, where are you calling in from, darling?
Sorry, I'm calling from Harrow, West London.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you. And thanks to you for organising all of this with your associates. So quick question, vitamin D3, should you take it on its own or with vitamin K2, which is what I've heard from my sister?
To be honest, you could take vitamin D. You could take vitamin D3 as a supplement. If you have it in your diet, you'll get it from animal foods. But you could have it in as a supplement by itself. You can supplement vitamin D3 because vitamin D3 is a steroid hormone, so it doesn't need a cofactor. You can take it with other fat soluble vitamins like vitamin K, but it's not a need for it to work. Vitamin D is a cofactor in itself. It will help
Oh, you're
absorb calcium. It doesn't need a trigger point.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
No worries.
Lisa Wilson. Lisa, you've got a quick question?
Yes, hi, good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I'm on a number of medications.
Where are you calling in from?
Oh, sorry, I'm calling in from Downham, sorry.
Oh, right, you're local. Welcome.
Hi, Joan.
Hi.
My question is that recently I've been having lots of leg cramps. So it's hindering walking. I stand up to cook and these cramps are like spasms.
Right.
So the doctors decided to ease off one of the tablets for 4 weeks to see if it helps. But what I want to know, is there anything else, like any herb, any natural stuff I can do? Because these cramps have started in the last 3 months and they're not leaving at all.
Well, calcium is a muscle relaxer too. I introduce calcium. Sometimes cramps is just a matter of also too much sodium in the blood as well can
Right, because I've been having
contribute to that.
lots of blood tests.
Exercise,
and
you make use of the muscle.
I'm going to have to give that standard answer again. I think you're going to have a full consultation with someone.
Yeah.
In order to
No, I get that. I just wondered if there was something else. We could have now put me on vitamin D, B12, iron tablets, and then I have all these cramps. So I was just wondering if there was anything.
No, vitamin D3 would work. Vitamin D3 would work because it will help calcium. Calcium is a muscle relaxer. It will help cramps.
Okay, thank you.
Carol L, you've got a quick question. Quick question. I can't believe this are over. Carol L, did you want to ask a question? No, I'm going to lower your hand. Michelle Brown, you've got a quick question.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Where are you calling in from, darling?
I'm calling from Essex.
Hi, welcome.
Hi. Right, what I wanted to find out, if possible, it's a medical, but it's not a medical. Right. So what it is, 2016, I was diagnosed with osteoporosis. Yeah. I was told to take medication, Fortium and daily, and alendronic acid weekly. Naturally, I forget to take them sometimes, although I've changed my diet from eating like beef and lamb to fish and chicken. Now, I'm wondering if there's anything else that I can do or even eat.
I think, again, we might have to look for for you to link with one of our presenters.
Because what I was also told is
a holistic thing, you see. It's not just about what you're eating. There are lots of elements they'll need to explore with you and discuss with you to be able to come to some kind of definitive conclusion.
Yeah, because I was told that I only needed to take the medication for 3 years from a nurse. And then when I went back to my GP, I was told that I needed to take it for basically for the rest of my life, which I don't want to do.
Right. What I'm going to suggest is if you probably put your details into, if the presenters put their details into the chat and then pick a couple of them who you think you can have a conversation with.
Okay.
You know how it's going to be quite difficult to discuss that because somebody really needs to go into a lot of detail with you about your health history in order to be able to. We can't just say, well, take this, take that. You know, we have to be really, because it's about, you know, we're all individuals.
Yeah.
But it's really important that, you know, you connect with somebody on the platform, you know, who can guide you through, you know, go through your health history in detail.
Okay, thank you.
All right, my darling. Carol L, you were on mute, you said. So
yeah, I was on mute. Apologies. I just wanted to ask one of the panelists if they could advise me, because I think I'm suffering from long COVID. I've not been able to smell anything for the last 6 months. And I just wondered if any of the panelists could give me some advice. I've been to my GP. I'm awaiting a hospital appointment, and I've also been to some health shops, and I use zinc and silver spray in my nose, and it alleviates the smell of fish burning and sulfur, but I'm still not able to smell. So I just wondered quickly if any of the panelists could just give me a bit of advice. Thank you.
Who would like to take that on? That's quite a tricky one.
Sorry, I'll because it's gone over time as well. My children.
No, I understand.
So my apologies for if I've missed anything, but I did hear that, and I would say start. I don't know. Can I ask you if you're boiling up any herbs at the moment? Are you using any herbal remedies?
Just the garlic and ginger and some thyme. So I try to steam with that. And I use a facial sauna regularly, but nothing seems to help, Gillian.
Okay, so I would say as well, add in, are you doing that, is that every day? Because you might want to mix it up a bit.
No, not every day, but maybe every other day. And I use the zinc and silver spray to try, it's helped clear my nose. So at first, it is a long conversation. It's probably not the forum for it, but at first I was smelling like the smell of fish burning, sulfur. I think they call it parasema. I think it's a condition that they're recognizing now that is part of this long COVID effect.
Yes, so I was you, I would go straight for golden seal. It's very potent and it's very strong. It's a very strong herb that does focus on that area, and it's really good for situations with like flu-like symptoms and like COVID symptoms and jinxing.
That's something you can buy from the health shop, Gillian.
Yeah, you can get it from herbal shops. There's Back to Eden sells it.
Shopping.
But you said washing up liquid in the car.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some now.
Really quick co-host, could somebody please mute everybody?
Yeah, so you Back to Eden in Lower Clapton definitely sells golden seal, and it's they said it very potent, it's very strong in regards to getting rid of those type of symptoms quite quickly. Horehound is a great mix with red sage, so I would go more.
Right. Sorry, Gillian, we had quite a lot of feedback, someone talking about shopping, etc. So sorry about that, we've lost some of your answer, but not to worry, because what I want to do is just kind of like wrap the whole thing, because we've gone over 3 hours. So it does show us how, on fire this particular topic has been within our community. So I want you to all just give a parting goodbye before we welcome Mary onto quickly the platform to do her exercise with us and get us, we've been sitting down for nearly 3 hours. So what parting gifts have you got? We're in 2021 now, and I'm so grateful. There are a lot of people who didn't make it for one reason or another, but we're in 2021 now, and it's really about, one tip each of you could give the participants on the platform this morning in regards to their diet, making that significant change in their lives. Julian, you can go first because you were cut off and I can hear the children in the background. So you can go.
You can hear them. Oh no. Well, you can only keep them quiet for so long. So I would like to say thank you for this space. It's been such a beautiful energy, and I'm very grateful to have met Joan and also be a part of the panelists, which has been amazing. I've really enjoyed it myself. So I bring to you guys peace, love, harmony, and blessings for 2021. Just focus on prosperity, happiness, love, abundance, joy, whatever situation you are in. If you are in any health condition, get a nutritionist. Like, this isn't the time to sit back and not do anything about your condition. It's the time to be proactive. Like, what COVID has shown us is that we need to go out and do what we need to do for ourselves and not just rely on the system, because it's so important that we do show the young ones as well that we are being proactive towards our condition and we're not just sitting back and not doing anything about it. I do one-to-one consultations. If you need any advice, you can call me, and all the panelists. It's paramount that we are all working together to get better health.
It's a bigger picture, isn't it? It's about a community. You know,
Yeah.
so all these people on here, you know, whatever you've learned, you know, take it into your families, into your workplace, share with your friends in your WhatsApp groups, you know, because you've had a wealth of knowledge on the platform. Joe, what's your parting message to us?
Prioritize health. Health is only missed when disease is available. We're going through a trying time. We don't know what the next year looks like. So what I'll say to all the people is just make mindful adjustments. You don't have to jump out the window from what we've said. Just make some mindful adjustments. Just, you know, pay attention to what you're putting into your body. It's a temple. This is all you have. If you lose your body, that's that. So, you know, practice self-care, self-love, look after yourself, treat yourself with care, with the maximum, get the maximum strength you can from this body, sharpen your mind, you know, and increase your peace so you can actually be in the best healthy state possible. Definitely, before you make massive health changes, consult with professionals. Do not just go off the internet. Trust me, there's a lot of dangers to nutrition. If you do not know what you are doing, it's not the be all end all, and it will not solve all problems. Nutrition is far more complex than just eat this food for this ailment. So please get educated. Like the sister said, get a nutritionist, get somebody that knows what they're talking about to help you along your journey. But most of all, just be safe and just look at what you're doing before you jump into anything that could be harmful to you.
Thank you very much, Joe. Good advice. Good advice. Naomi, what is your parting message to us on the platform this morning?
Yeah, I also wanted to say thank you to the presenters. Thank you to you, Joan. I've learned so much. I've just been digesting so much information. So my parting gift would be around self-care and balance. So I would really advocate that everybody tries to strive towards a lot more self-care, especially as Black people, Black women. We really need to, whatever we think our self-care limit is, I would suggest ×4 and go for it. So the self-care would include not only just looking after the physical aspect of yourself, such as health and exercise, it will also be looking at some of your trauma, some of your personal baggage, whether there's a parenting issues that maybe we've taken from our parents or that we're giving down to our children. It's looking at our baggage and actually just getting through some of the stuff. It's finding our passion, firing up your mojo. It's challenging your inner critic. It's really kind of instilling your inner coach. And lastly, it's protecting your space, your time and your energy. That is really vital in this time. So being mindful of the information that you're consuming. We're not just consuming food, but we're consuming a lot of information via WhatsApp, all of these other stuff. And a lot of it is negative or misinformation. So please try to stay in tune. Don't look for salvation outside of yourself. Look within. Call on yourself, your ancestors, your God. Everything that you need is within you. So yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Powerful message. Powerful.
Yeah.
Message. Wow. Brother Lyndon?
Yes, I concur what everyone else is saying.
Yeah.
I concur what everybody else is saying, but I just want to finish off on what I know, what I've done. I'm not a medical person, yeah? So the way I thought about it is a mindset, yeah? Okay, the mindset. How do you start? Yeah, where to start? Okay, for type 2 diabetes, yeah, okay. The second thing is nutrition, yeah? What do you need to eat? Yeah, flavonoid foods, yeah, what do you need to eat? And the third thing is physical activities. Start doing something, yeah, doing something.
Yeah, we've got Mary coming up.
Yeah, okay. And the fourth one is intermittently fasting. Like Joe said, guys, check out Joe about intermittently fasting. It is so crucial. Yeah, and you realize how much energy you're gonna get rather than lose. You'll be so surprised. And the last thing I just want to finish on is that I'm doing a project now called take3chefs.com. Go to that, take3chefs.com. You might have seen it on my social media. Check it out, guys. There's 3 chefs, yeah? Richard Cummins, Kevin Mohammed, yeah? All right? And we're doing something for the community that is not there. 3 different chefs, 3 different backgrounds coming together. We're going to create some good food, nutritional food to help the community. Yeah, and this is why 3 Chefs come back. So take 3chefs.com, check us out, contact me, and yeah, theinspireddiabetic.com. Let's look after the community and our children. So take charge, guys. Thank you very much, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Silban, Nzinga Water, the waterman.
Hi, everyone.
A short answer. What is your
a direct answer? What I say to the people, as I said, look to your past, look to the future, as I said, yeah. And I'm someone who just likes to show the evidence. A lot of people on here may be vegan, yeah, and we love them, and we understand more about veganism through our own community. All I say to you, we've always been vegan, but unfortunately we lost our way. And that word, tell people, stop using the word vegan. Call it what it is, ITAL. Yeah, remember, ITAL was before vegan. Yeah, as I said, white folks turn up, they call it vegan, and everyone jumps on the boat. We had it first, and we threw it away. All I ask you, when we do stuff, don't throw it away anymore. As I said, yeah, that's what it is. It's ITAL. Yeah, the Rastafarians, some of us may not have liked them. I just say it as the way how it is because of other things. However, that's what it is called. It's called ITAL. Look it up. Thank you very much.
That's fantastic. Kay has had to leave us. She's got another engagement, but we've gone completely over as always. So people who come on our Zooms, and this has been the longest one ever. But you know, thank everybody for being on the platform. You've all been absolutely fantastic. Wealth of knowledge. I mean, I want to hear that, you know, you've taken like 6, 7, 8 pages of this notes, because, you know, where are you going to get this information from? Yeah, where? And, you know, as I've always said, we've got the expertise in our community, and it's just so fantastic having Naomi, Lyndon, Silburn, Gillian, Kay, Joe. You know, it's been mind-blowing. So presenters, please put all your contact details into the chat. Please follow us on Eventbrite so you know of all the forthcoming events that are coming up. So as I said earlier, you know, we've got menopause Zoom coming up. We've got one on endometriosis, polycystic ovaries and fibroids. We've got a Young, Gifted and Black again. We've got Black Hair Rocks. We've got a whole raft of different Zooms that are going to be coming up. So, you know, please stay in touch. Please stay connected. Mary, are you still there? Can you do a quick 10-minute? We've been sitting down for so long, so we need a bit of shaking up, a bit of movement.
I'm here, Joan. Okay, 10 minutes?
Yeah, 7 or 10 minutes, because we've gone way over.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Put your thumbs up.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
I want to see those thumbs up, guys. Come on.
We can
Come on. I know we've been sitting down for so long, so I want everybody up.
Where are you?
That includes you, Silburn.
Can you see me?
I can see you. Come on. Okay. So bear with me, guys. Right. So I won't reiterate what Naomi was saying, but we need to look after ourselves, guys, yeah? Because we're only here on loan. We need to look after our bodies and making sure we're eating well, as Joe was saying, as Linda was saying, looking after ourselves. So I won't talk too much. We're going to get into our exercises. I'd just like to say, Joan, thank you for inviting me. Yeah. And guys, I'll be 62 in February, yeah? Woo-hoo. And listen, you need to look after yourselves, okay? Right. So everybody up, a bit of James Brown. Okay, so here we go. Up we come. Clap it out. Come on. Come on, clap it out. We're back. We're back. Hands on the hips. Hands on the hips. Come on. Come on. Get up off that thing. Come on. Motivation. Here we go. Up on the head. Get up off that thing. Come on. Come on. Down. 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 Come on. 20 minutes today. Now we say, come on, hands on the hips. Come on. Up, 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 up. Beautiful. Arms to the side. Everybody ready? Everybody ready? Come on. Follow me. Follow me. Follow me. Get up on that thing. Come on. Get up on that thing. Keep it going. Get up, get up, get up. Smile. Get rid of that turkey. Get rid of that rice and peas. Get rid of that cake. Come on. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hands up on the hips. Come on. Come on. Pull it in. Pull it in. Come on, Silver. Come on. Up the smile. That's it, Joe. Where are my queens? Jill. Sonia. Come on. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. March it out. Come on. March it out. Up, 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 up. Keep moving. Keep marching. Keep marching. Do not stop. I can see you all. Keep marching. Keep marching. Everybody walk. Dance for me. 4. Okay. You should go nice and warm now. Come on. Stay with me. Stay with me now. 4, 3. Elbow to knee. Elbow. Come on. Elbow. Elbow. Beautiful. Come on. Lift it. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Change legs. 8, 7, 6. Come on. Come on, Joe. Lift that knee. Change. Lift. Beautiful. Change. Come on. Come on. Come on. Lift it. Lift it. Lift it. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Let's put some squats in. Squat. 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 Keep moving. Let's get those butt working. Squeeze those cheeks in. Come on, squeeze it. Come on, Silver, get down. 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 Give me 8. 8, 7, 6, 5. You can stay seated if you want to. I can see Sabira. Come on, come on. Get down. Get down. Hold it, hold it, hold it. 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 10 more, 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay down. Stay down. To the side. To the side. Come on. Hup, hup, hup. Come on. Use those hands. Here we go. Here we go. Squeeze. Squeeze. Come on. Come on. Beautiful. Up we come. March it out. Let's work on the waist now. Come on. Round. Round. I know you all can whine. Come on. Come on. Hup, 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 hup. Get rid of that Christmas pudding. Come on. Keep whining. Keep whining. Do not stop. Do not stop. Do not stop. Do not stop. Whine it. Whine it. Come on, Joe. Come on, Joe. March it out. March March it out. Okay, how we doing? Everybody okay? Thumbs up? March it out. Breathe in. Breathe in. Normally before the classes, we'd Yeah?
Fantastic.
Stop in a minute. Can I just talk a little bit longer?
No, we're done.
Okay. I know you will. Guys. That is what you make it, guys. We're nearly there. Come on, guys. Life is what you make it. We can and we will. Don't say never. Say I will. Thank you, Joan.
You're very welcome, my darling. Thank you, thank you. Gillian, your kids are amazing.
How's everybody feeling?
Energized. Energized.
Really?
Hi, kids.
Thank
Hi,
you.
kids.
Thank you, queens. Thank you, kings.
Silburn, you was hiding, wasn't you, Silburn?
Lyndon, Silburn.
I was on
Joe.
That was fantastic. Right, let me wrap this up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all my fantastic presenters. This has been a marathon, 10 to 12. Meant to be 2 hours, but do you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. Mary, thank you for that. We needed to shake up our bodies after all that sitting down. So thank you very, very much. Excellent. Wonderful. The chat is just blowing up. Blowing up. So it just goes to show why I always say health is a holistic approach. It's about physical activity. It's about diet. It's about sleep. It's about drinking the water. Yeah. So it is a holistic approach. All the presenters have put their contact details into the chat. So Mary, please ensure you put your contact details into the chat if anybody wants to get in touch with you. So when you start back the classes, based in South East London, Mary will put their contact details in there. So it just leaves me to say farewell. Thank you all. To hear about future Queen's events, please follow us on Eventbrite. This Zoom recording will go up onto our YouTube channel, which is soon to be launched. So this was part 2 of Stop Eating the Fridge. Yeah, key message in there. Stop eating the fridge. Drink the water, eat the veg, eat the greens, get out and exercise. Yeah, don't take the bus. Yeah, walk if you can. Yeah, don't take the car. Just put health measures into your life. It will make a huge difference. I hope you've all taken loads of notes. We've had a wealth of information here on this platform, and I just want to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful day. And thank you all. And next week, look out for the notification. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen next week, but it's going to be big. Yeah, it's going to be big. So look forward to seeing you all very soon. Take care, Queens. Have a, I should say kings as well. I'm sure there's some kings on the platform. Have a wonderful day and see you all soon. Bye. Goodbye. Take good care.
Thanks, Joan. Can't wait for next week. Thank you. Good night. Good day, everyone. Good day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Joan. Thank you. Thanks, Joan. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, well
Bye,
done,
Joan.
Mel.
Thanks a lot,
Happy New
Mary.
Year to everybody.